start. Close out Discord, that way we don't get notification noises. Close that. Close that. Oh shit.
I got a notification noise. Can't quiet them all.
And then you said to check.
Yeah, check Discord.
Check Discord. Alright.
Hey, where'd you put my sweater?
It's still on the chair, just out there.
I don't know if you took it off.
Was it in general or? Which one did you post it in?
General.
General?
I post everything in general unless it's something that I don't want.
Wait, was it this one?
Yeah.
Oh no. Alright. People need to stop calling Naruto Boruto's dad. Why? It's funny. Who cares if they call... Oh, fuck. If they call him that. It's not funny. They're totally different shows and people need to respect that. They need to take place in the same universe with the same characters. They're not the same characters. The kids are new characters and the old characters are all grown up and face different problems. Naruto is Naruto and Boruto. This is my actual argument.
Did you see my comment under it?
For all the fucking hate you. Gosh.
For all the Dragon Balls fans.
For all the Dragon Ball Z fans. Oh boy. Alright,
It
let's...
says balls.
Ball. It does say balls? Oh
Yeah.
no.
Just with a Z.
Alright, let's see. You guys are quiet. I need it closer to you guys.
Well, yeah, you have it like so people can listen to your back, apparently.
He wants them to listen to him flash.
I'm in 360.
I love turning and turning. They can hear me from every direction. Just, get a microphone on my computer right here too. Make sure they can hear me everywhere.
You need one coming from the ceiling.
The ceiling too? Just one of those hanging
And
ones?
then he just hires a boom operator for no reason.
He'll stand in the corner, he'll hold my apples and feed them to me while holding it in one hand. Alright.
Shouldn't it be grapes?
Grapes? No.
Yeah, why apples?
Yeah. Because I like apples,
He has
okay?
an apple right there. Okay,
I like apples a lot.
He found out he liked apples like 3 days ago.
I didn't find out I like apples, I just forgot that I had an obsession with apples.
You rediscovered
Either
this.
way, grapes are the best fruit, and I
get...
can tell you why.
Why?
Why?
Give me, because they come in
Because
stems
they
of
make
balls.
alcohol.
No, because they're the shareable fruit. Nobody's going to want to eat part of your apple.
You could split
But
it in half, you could cut it in half.
Cut it.
That's disgusting. Not with a stranger. If you're just like,
Wolf
let's say you're in high school and someone's just like, yo, can I have some of your grapes? And you just peel full of vine. You're like, yeah, there's
Logan's
grapes. No one
here.
ever asked you to bite of your apple. It's weird.
Can I have a piece of your apple?
I mean,
Nobody asked for a
what
bite
about
of
an
your
orange? You could
anything.
split the oranges into, like, multiple pieces.
You don't
only
share
need one
oranges.
For that. You don't share oranges?
If you share oranges, you don't like oranges.
What if you have multiple cuties in your hand? Like, just whip an orange at somebody. It's like, here, have an orange.
Yeah, it's
You
like those
must-
mud balls in ESO. You just
not
chuck them
like-
at
You
people.
must
except-
not like oranges then.
You don't like mud balls?
You don't like your grapes?
You don't like your grapes? You don't throw them at people? You gotta eat the whole stem.
They're grapes.
The grapes is different. All right.
It's like then you touch the apple and they're like, I
Yeah.
don't want something you touch
How about,
for
like,
those
a bundle of
germaphobes. You can just touch
bananas?
the stem because no one's eating the stem.
What if you have a glove on?
Why do you have a glove on?
For
If
the
you ever wear a
germaphobes.
glove, you're wearing fingers gloves, so your argument's invalid.
Arguments invalid forever. It is Friday, Logan. Don't make fun of me. This is the only time we could get it.
Did you see the picture I sent you?
Who?
You saw, he knows who, Janelle and Michaela are.
Oh.
He went to go see a movie at Northwest State with them.
Oh yeah, Northwest
What?
had a movie
I sent you
night.
the picture! I asked you if you saw the I asked you if you saw the pictures.
No, I didn't.
I'm about to show you.
Oh no, I'm scared. All
I'm about to
right.
show you.
Anyways, hi guys, unknown artist. We got
Not
Mr.
everyone's guys.
Hey crew. Anyways, we got Mr. Lowrider finally back
Look!
on the thing. Oh no.
At first I saw her comment and she's like, I hung out with Logan, and then I was like, it's probably a different Logan.
Why was
But
I not
it's the
invited?
same Logan.
I wasn't invited.
You
I
don't
feel
go to school
sad.
there.
I did.
Not anymore.
Get out of here, old person.
Anyways, got Mr. Lowrider, aka Daniel. We got Dreaming Slade, aka not Serena, because girls don't exist.
Man.
Yeah, Iron Man.
Tony
We have
Stark.
Iron Man on the show. Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark. Oh boy. Topic today. What?
I'd like a different Iron Man.
You like a different Iron Man? Like,
Yeah.
is that what mark is that then?
What?
Give me a mark.
22.
20.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like the suits, they're different marks.
Oh.
Like Mark 22.
I know
Mark-
Speed Racer marks.
Deja vu. Sorry, initial D. Anime memes. You get you're grinning already. All right. You don't know? You don't get that one?
No.
Oh my gosh! So we got to get you into that now too.
No, you don't.
No.
Oh, I do. Oh, I
You
do.
really don't.
Anyways, topic for today.
Pretend I'm watching it.
Pretend you're watching what?
Whatever he's talking about.
Initial D. You don't have to watch Initial D. It's just the memes everywhere. Like when cars start sliding, and then it does that deja vu.
No.
He's making shit up again.
No,
If we ignore him long enough, he'll stop talking.
Yeah.
Just shake your head.
Yes, agree.
He thinks he's streaming.
Oh gosh, P. Bradley. Anyways, topic of the day. Gosh, back on topic. How basically the beginnings of how we became nerdy, like anywhere from anime, cartoons, video games, all that different type of stuff. The beginnings of how we got into it, or like how it's affected us, how it's changed us over time, like when we were changed and brought into the culture and everything like that. That is the main topic for today.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want to begin it? Because you sound like you had a whole story prepped and everything.
Sure. Well, I was going to start with a question for you, actually, because
Oh, no.
yours is probably the more common story, I'm assuming, of like...
I don't know if people know how I got into streaming and stuff.
Well, I'm not talking about streaming, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, in general, how'd you get into anything that would be classified as nerdy, either video games or anime?
Actually, I don't know
anything
if
like
I've
that.
ever talked about that before on stream. Okay, so you want me to start off. All
Yeah.
right.
Well, you're the streamer.
Yeah, but I throw you guys first. That way I can be the last bombshell.
Oh.
No. No, we don't work like that.
Gotta get the views.
No. Light it. Take the... Okay. How it started. With, like, gaming and stuff like that, I guess, from the get-go, I don't know, like, when I was 3 or 4 years old, my father was a techie, and he got me introduced into computers, so, like, 2 or 3, I was already messing with them, and then, like, 4 and 5, I started messing with, like, Windows 97 games. There was,
So you
like...
started on PC.
Yeah.
What was your first game?
Started on, favorite game or first game?
First game. Like, first game you, like, remember, like, really playing?
Probably Minesweeper.
I think I said Minecraft.
No. Probably Minesweeper. There was this one...
You mean the game that's not even actually a game?
Yeah. But no. I got further into it. I got into this one. There was an ice skiing game, and you had to, like, go down the hill and, like, avoid rocks. And then there was this Yeti that eventually would come and try to get you, and you had to, like, escape him. And it was really hard to do. And it was a Windows 97 game. And then there was one where you had to get these computer chips. Like, it was like a puzzle game. Like, you had to do certain things. There's, like, these 2D areas, and you had to, like, go through them, and you had to, like, activate certain things while avoiding other things, because there's, like, laser beams that would have hit you or stuff. You had to get these chips and bring them back to the corresponding areas, and, I don't know, it really, really goofy Windows 97 games, okay?
That's how they all were.
Yeah, it was bad. And then my very first, like, actual hardcore game I got really into was Worms 2, if you know the Worms games.
I
Yeah.
know the new ones.
Oh, goodness. Kevin! Park Assassin, what's up? But, yeah, Worms 2, basically, the layout of that game, you had a bunch of little worms that didn't look like worms whatsoever. They had little hands, and you had guns and weapons and stuff. You'd try to blow each other up. You can blow up the islands and stuff. And the goal was just to destroy the other team.
And you were still, like, a kid around this time, right?
Oh, yeah, like 5 or 6,
5
probably.
or 6, yeah.
Yeah. It was a great game. It still is a good game. Worms is still going. A lot of people don't know about it anymore, but...
Worms WMD is out.
Yeah, Weapons of Mass Destruction, yeah.
I thought it was Worms of Mass Destruction.
It could be. I don't know. They have Worms and then WMD, so...
I'm pretty sure it's Worms, because... I don't know, it'd just be punnier. Anyways.
Puns!
I would say, in comparison, when I was 5, I was probably, like...
Beating up kids on the
outside
playground.
playing football and stuff, like, pretty much every other guy that was around our area.
I didn't do that till, like, late elementary.
If you...
Like, basketball
I don't know
and stuff like
I
that.
don't think a lot... I don't know how many of your viewers know, like, around the area we live, but we live around a very, like, rural area.
Yeah, it's...
Very
farm
rural,
country.
very into, like, football and sports and stuff.
Farming,
they were very
sports.
set.
Yeah.
It's an area that's very set in its the normal gender ways.
Not until recent has it had any...
Yeah.
Like... in video games and nerdiness and all that type of stuff, that wasn't accepted.
Well,
like you were not.
I'll
cool.
say we're in Ohio, so
Yeah.
like the thing was like playing football and then maybe one day going to Ohio State and playing football there or anything like that. That was like every kid's dream, at least boy wise.
Yeah. Become professional.
Then maybe become a cheerleader if you're a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that, and then what was it? Cosmetology? That doesn't sound right now? Is that right?
Cosmetology?
Yeah.
What is that right?
Like the hairdressing stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the right word? That sounds
I
really
think so.
wrong right
Oh,
now.
becoming a cosmetologist? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, like that's a big thing. Nursing and like cheerleading.
Working at the factory was like pretty much where a lot of people were set.
And
Well, it's not
cross-country.
like they really wanted to go, but
Or like social work or childcare, or like preschool or like daycare or something like that. That was pretty common on like
teachers
girls.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like the main thing.
Mm-hmm. So I didn't. So I'll do. I think we should do like maybe a comparison like at age thing. Maybe that might.
And then move on to a different age group.
Yeah,
and, like,
that might
compare
kind
it
of
again.
help it, like, go a little smoother.
Yeah.
Okay, so then around that age, like just being a kid in general was like playing outside, doing like what boy stuff was. I don't think I got my PlayStation 1 till I was about.
I'll make sure I can hear you too.
Yeah, no, I'm not being that loud.
They can hear you guys.
I was gonna say
actually
you
pretty
can
well.
move it to the side a bit. But I didn't get a PlayStation 1, I believe, till maybe I was in first grade. And even then, it was kind of like I didn't own a single game. We rented every single game. I was only allowed to rent games that were 2 players.
I think that's something too that we could bring up, like home video and stuff like that, where they had all the games. That died. That died real fast. Where you could rent all the games, like family video, home video.
Family video
stuff
still
like,
exists.
Does it?
Yeah, I was wanting to find.
Really? Can you still rent the games and
Yeah.
everything?
You cannot go into the first night a game comes out because the people rent them out. Again, like, they'll bring this up more, but I think there's a very disconnect from what we're kind of into, like being like now really into video games and anime and stuff,
Oh yeah.
to compared to how the rest of the population is. That we think everywhere else is like that. It's like a lot of people don't buy their games or they'll only rent them,
Yeah.
or they'll rent before they buy or something like that.
Is it Redbox?
Redbox does games too.
Yeah. Okay, I thought so.
I've thought about doing that easily to save some money.
Yeah.
Buy a game, play like a single player game real quick, and then turn in the next day or a couple days later.
That's fair.
But
Especially
yeah.
for like multiplayer ones and stuff like that.
But yeah, when I was like 5 and stuff, it was all about playing football, being outside.
I hated that stuff when I was younger.
The only thing
hated it.
the only thing I remember about anime was what was it, Fox for Kids maybe? They
Yeah.
did stuff like that.
Yeah.
They had one show called Fighting Foodons, which I think I talked about.
Remember on Nickelodeon when we were younger, they were like, "It's Earth Day," and they like shut the channel down.
That was bullshit. Me and my brother both hated that.
I hated that too. That was great though. Oh gosh. Yeah, we'll get on that. Butt jumping and kicking buddies. They're always fighting. I can't remember the name, but they're doing a Korean with all 3. Oh. Yeah, we'll get into that. I'll get into that in a second. Because it was still when I was younger too. I'll talk about that.
The only PC games I played, which I was probably like, I think we're now moving in like when I was 10, which I don't know if you want to still keep that in the kid age.
Just for a second longer because I forgot about something entirely.
I played Pajama Sam.
Okay, no. You gotta explain that one. Pajama Sam.
Oh, you're just this little blue dude, and like, when it was time for him to go to bed, he had like saved the world. But he didn't really do much.
So it's like Batman type of style, or
It is like real cheesy. Like you had to beat this cheese monster by playing tic-tac-toe. But it was like
so it was like a learning game.
But it was like 7x7 tic-tac-toe.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. Some ever computer games I play were like learning games and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Till we'll get about 13 or something, but that's a different age. I think that's a different age group than being like just kid in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I watched any. Because when I was watching cartoons, I'd watch Looney Tunes and stuff like that.
Like Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, those are my favorite.
What was it? Oh gosh, what was the Sylvester one? Sylvester and
Tweety?
yeah.
Yeah, that's Looney Tunes.
Was that? No, I mean like what was the title of that one? I don't remember.
What do you mean?
I don't know. They all had their specific titles and everything.
No.
like different bits, but they're all Looney Tunes.
It was all Looney Tunes.
It was all Looney Tunes. They had their own bits and everything.
I think it makes
What
stuff
up?
What about Spiral the Dragon?
Oh yeah, we're getting into that. We're getting into that because we're still in like the 1 to 5 area right now.
That's the thing. I never played Spyro.
You never played Spyro?
No, because it was only a 2-player game.
That one was Kirby.
Oh yeah, I know. We're getting
I was
into
only allowed
Nintendo.
I was only allowed to play
two
player games.
Really?
I'm pretty sure the first video game I ever played, it was a Winnie the Pooh game.
Like a PC one or
no, on PlayStation 1.
There was a Winnie the Pooh PlayStation game?
Which I was probably older than I should have been to play a Winnie the Pooh game.
Uh-huh.
When my parents were very like, everything on the internet's bad, all video games are violent, this is a waste of time, you should be outside type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, I'm not saying they were like not supportive, but they were just like, why?
Mm-hmm. There's no point to it.
Yeah, why?
Yeah.
Go play outside.
And at that time, too, with internet and stuff, it would be really interesting to see where you could have went with stuff because nothing was really controlled or anything like that.
Was I in 3rd grade? Maybe.
For Winnie the Pooh?
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic.
Because I think it was that, I didn't get a video game system maybe till we were at our new house. Which is the one where I live, or where my parents live now.
Yeah.
Because besides that, it was just like, no. And it's this might be a little cultural thing, but a lot of Mexican families have big families.
Yeah.
So I had 6 cousins, and you hung out with your cousins like every weekend, especially during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
You'd spend like months together.
Yeah.
So it was very it's not like you didn't have anyone to play with. Like we'd be playing kickball and wiffle ball and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. Were you did you have like a lot of cousins or? I know you don't have any.
I don't really know any of them.
Exactly.
Though.
So it's like, that would make sense more why you went towards the way of staying inside and watching.
Yeah, because I didn't have a lot of stuff. I mean, I had 1 to 5 age range. I had 4 or 5 friends, probably tops, and they couldn't always come over because I don't know, we just didn't always travel a lot during that time, I guess. Yeah. But which we did travel a lot.
Although that age you're supposed to be friends with everybody, so I don't know how you only had 4 friends.
4 or 5 that I can technically remember. How's that? They're.
I'm thinking more like 1st grade now, honestly.
Oh, 1st grade, yeah.
I was friends with everybody. I had my best friend, and then I was I knew everybody.
Yeah, everybody was chilly to each other.
Up to 6 years old.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then, did you want to talk about your 1 to 5 age range too?
I say 1 to 3rd grade.
It was still
mostly
till
10.
Okay, I have more to add to that.
In that time, my mom wanted everybody really family oriented, and they wanted us to spend time with the family. My mom wanted to spend time with us, do little activities with us. So sometimes when she'd work out, our activity would be working out with her.
Oh, so you had parental spending time together.
Yeah.
I didn't have that. My parents were always at work.
Same.
I
mean, my mother wasn't during that time, but
off and on because my mom would take there was a time period where she worked at Walmart for 3rd shift.
Mm-hmm.
And that was probably a few months. So there would be a few month period here and there where we wouldn't have my mom. And then it was just with my dad, and then every once in a while he would grill outside and then he'd play football or something with us. But it wasn't all the time. We didn't always have them around all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then that would be the time period where I would be stuck in a book somewhere.
Mm.
And then we didn't really have comic books because they're oh, that's not a book.
Yeah, that's not a book.
Books with pictures. We had books with pictures when we were little and my mom would read to us. But we were supposed to read chapter books and things like that. And so that's why I got into the 800-page books and would read those in a weekend. And
remember there was one dragon book. It was not Aragon. It had the same kind of blue dragon on it though.
There was a good book series. I'd say this might be my first getting in towards the nerdy stuff for books. I can't remember how old I was.
Mm-hmm.
It was called Del Toro Quest, maybe something like that.
That sounds really familiar.
I guess they made an anime out of it. I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah, they
ever.
did.
But that was my first there's a king and a queen. You finding castles or you find gems and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Although I don't know if I consider that nerd because they still had like the Disney princess movies and all that stuff still.
Yeah.
Those are my shit. I love
Spends
watching
$2,000 on ES though.
Yeah. I know.
He's saving the princess now. Sorry. But
I mean, we did have video games and stuff because we had the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
We had the PlayStation 1. And it was just because my mom kind of sort of was into video games because she'd go to the arcade when she was younger.
Yeah.
And she'd like spend whatever money she could find in between the couch cushions and that kind of thing.
Chuck E. Cheese. Sorry,
And so
that's one too.
yeah, we had some Mario Kart game for the
64, I'm guessing.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Nintendo 64.
but it was also a / golf game, which was
Mhm.
weird because like
Because they did duo games at that time.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was also that time like there was one Diddy Kong Racing.
Yep.
I had
had
that.
that.
DS.
Yeah. They had Mario Kart for DS too. You can make your own emblem and stuff. It was cool.
We'll get to that at the 10 and something age.
Yeah.
And then we had
Well,
this
for me.
this gecko game. I don't know, but there was all I remember was fighting Santa Claus.
I guess we should add that little
And
disclaimer thing
penguins.
too.
God.
Is that there's an age difference between me and you two. Is that
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys said your age ever, but I'm 23.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
And
about
20. What up?
yeah. So
I'm
there's
gonna
a
be 21 next week.
so there's
Yeah.
a good 2 year 3 difference, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is.
Yeah, there can be a lot that happens in that time.
Yeah.
No, my stuff when I was younger was like PC gaming. There was one crazy Windows 97 game where you could put like this post down and keep all your people healed or trap like certain enemies and stuff.
What
And that was pretty
their
cool.
kicking butts thing? Their
Oh,
kicking butts
okay.
thing they were talking
So
about.
that's what I was gonna get into. He's referring to the NES, the Nintendo, the original one. Basically, we played a lot of games on that, like all the times. We would have days where we spent the whole day trying to just beat the game, right?
What do you mean we?
My father and I.
Okay.
We would do Super Mario. We'd do Super Mario 2, Super Mario 3, Kirby. We'd do what he was talking about is oh shoot. Shit, I can't remember the name of it.
I was gonna say you don't have to explain the games fully
Yeah, no.
because it's gonna be a longer podcast if you do that.
Oh yeah. Contra. Shoot, I can't remember what that was called. Double Dragon. Double Dragon it was what it was called. You could like flip people, throw them over. You had like a red guy and a blue guy. You'd like flip them over and beat them up and stuff. And you'd take their weapons and beat up other people. Oh, it was cool. Like if that was like the most complex probably game at the time because you had to use like A and B and you had to mash them certain ways, do certain combos and stuff. Because if you know the Nintendo controllers, they're rectangles. You had your arrow pad.
Explain
You had
it
your
first.
A and B. Yeah, it was fun. And then I think that's probably like the most we played. We played Zelda and things like that, like the gold cartridge Zelda. But that was like our thing. We would go full days. We'd play the whole day together, and then we'd try to beat the games. If we couldn't beat the games, then we'd try to do it next time. And then you'd have to like clean out the cartridges and stuff like that. That was a lot of fun.
So
But that was like my two main things, and
I
then
wanted to add
PS1
off
too.
of Serena.
Mhm.
That was the thing we did a lot too. Is we played in arcades
Mm-hmm.
because our mall, like local mall, used to have an arcade.
Yeah.
There, and that's what we'd go do. Is parents go shopping and stuff.
Yeah.
This sounds gonna sound weird, but me and all my cousins. Again, we spent a lot of time together. Me and all my cousins. So like it was like 5 of us.
Mm-hmm.
All went to arcade and played in the arcade while our grandma and all our parents and stuff went shopping and did all their stuff.
That was one thing I never got to do. I'm not gonna lie. Like Chuck E. Cheese was the closest thing I had to
I
it.
never
Hey, if you want to, or no, I guess we don't have the charger in here.
I never liked the Chuck E. Cheese. Like I always thought it smelled whenever I went there. So I was like,
Mhm.
this is weird. And we weren't allowed to play ticket games.
Really.
We weren't allowed to play games where it was like, oh, just put your token and put in your little Nameko token and if, like you get more tokens and then you get like a bunch of tickets.
Mm-hmm.
My dad would be like, that's a waste of money. He's like, it's like if you're gonna do this, then whatever money you spend, get the most time out of it. So then he's the one that got me into like Galaga and played a lot.
Yep.
Because that was a game I'd watch him play. I still like watching him play.
Mm-hmm.
Because like we played at an airport one time. We were just like waiting. This is like a layover.
Yeah.
And he was there for like 45 minutes. just playing off of like 1 quarter, maybe 2. I think it was 50 cents, 2 quarters. You know.
Yeah.
It's just
A little
like,
coin on a string. You ever do that one?
No.
Okay.
I used to keep my tokens though, because I thought they were cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it was like, ooh, a rare token. It was a normal ass Nameco token.
Mm-hmm. You ever do the golden penny thing? Just because it made me think of it.
The what?
Golden penny thing. You put this one material on a penny and then it would turn it golden. Like
Yeah.
when you set it on fire. It was cool. Anyways.
So I say, now like, I'll say before it was like, we'll do like 10 to like 16 now maybe.
Mhm.
Somewhere around there. That's where the Nintendo DS came out for like
Yep.
me. And the thing is our school did what they called incentive trips.
Mm-hmm.
And so every quarter, you know, like a normal school quarter.
Yeah.
So you had 4 quarters. Every quarter, if you didn't have bad attendance, if you didn't get a certain amount of points for being bad, basically if you're like you didn't have to be like a really good kid, you just, you know, had to be pretty not bad. I only didn't go 1 year because of stupid reasons. But the thing is you went on the bus, you know, you go wherever you go. You go to, I think we went to BG one time, or, you know, go watch hockey, go watch a baseball game, play laser tag, stuff like that.
Yep.
The thing everyone brought their DS. At least 1 or 2 people had Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone else, you do the DS download, and then you
Yep.
play Mario Kart.
And did you guys do it on the bus at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all it was, is you sat on the bus and played it.
I think that was like a thing during just that time period because we all did the same thing.
And then you did Picto Chats.
Yep, and you would write it, whatever you said, or yeah, that was a good time. I remember that.
All the guys would draw dicks.
Yep. Or you would try drawing a drawing, everybody had to guess who it was, or try to figure out who everybody was on the bus, and it was great. Yeah, I remember that. Gosh.
I think that was the height of handheld gaming, I think, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Was when the first DS came out.
The animation stuff with the DSi was cool, but it wasn't the same.
No, I only ever had a DS. Well, that's not true. I used to have like a Game Boy,
Mm-hmm. Same.
like an actual Game Boy that my uncle gave me.
Never
Game
had-
Boy Advance.
Yep.
I used to have the Game Boy Micro. I don't know if you remember that one.
Mm-hmm.
It came out the same time the Game Boy SP came out.
Mm-hmm.
It was like this big and got changed the faceplates.
Yep.
I got that
remember
one because I wanted that one.
Do you ever remember that big clunky Sega handheld one?
No, I used to have a handheld Atari thing. Or maybe it was like, I really have no idea clue.
There was a Sega one.
It might have been that. I played Sonic Pinball.
What?
Pong.
Pong was your game?
After my grandmother passed
the
away,
very
we
first
found
one.
an Atari 2
Two
in her
lines
closet.
and a ball.
Yep. Pong was great. I like Pong.
And it was just like this little machine thing, and then you just plug it into your TV so that you can see it on the screen. And then there was 2 little joint stick things.
And so then at this
What's up,
point,
Ron, by the way?
at this point for me, I think I only had a PlayStation 2. And the
Mhm.
only way, I didn't find out till later because it was like,
You never played Battlefront on that, did you?
yeah, I did.
Okay.
So, I'll get there. So, when I got it for Christmas. And I hope you don't have a lot I'm pretty sure you don't have any young viewers, but, you know, the whole thing was Santa got it for me.
Yeah.
And it came with, you know, PlayStation, like 10, 15 controllers,
Mm-hmm.
and like 50 games.
Gosh.
It was all used though. Didn't matter to me. I didn't even know what a new system was anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I got my PlayStation 1, you got that from KB Toys.
Yeah, it was all like new to all of us, so it was just like you
it
didn't
matter.
know.
I
Yeah.
didn't give a shit.
You just had one.
What I
you were a
found
cool
out
kid.
was that was my uncle's old one. I'm pretty sure he gave it to me because he either got like a new PlayStation 2 Slim or he got a PS3.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. But at that point, that's what I got. I got a used system. And I think that was around the time when like they were talking about how they started saying video games made you violent, because that's when like San Andreas came out. Because I got
Yeah.
that game. I never played it. Cause
Was
I
that
thought,
the one with the flying cars?
I don't know. Probably. Yeah, that's the one with the main cheat codes and Big Smoke and all like that.
Yep.
That one I didn't play too much because it's not like my parents said I wasn't allowed to. But then like there was the rumors of like, oh, if you play this like so many hours before you go to bed, you're gonna like murder people or something. It was like
Okay.
this is like when like those rumors spread around.
Yeah.
And this was still when like, I know the internet existed, but if you're like a kid,
Mm.
you know, like in the schoolyard, it was like you told people like, hey, I did this thing in this game, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, this crazy thing happened.
Yep.
Now, I never did that because it was still like, you didn't talk about like you played games.
Yep.
No one talked about video games. No one was like, eh. I'm pretty sure.
My friends did. We talked about it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we were, during that kind of time period, we were very active, but we also did games. Like, it was like a 50-50. We either went outside and, like, we built a go-kart and stuff like that, and we would do trampoline, and we would, like, do our own little, like, hide-and-seek games and stuff and run around like crazy idiots.
Yeah, be kids.
Yeah, exactly. Like, at night and stuff, you know, you would hide out in the dark, have a flashlight, and you had to find each other. If you made it to the base, you were safe and stuff like that. But then at the same time, like, half the time we'd be coming in and playing Battlefront. We'd play Pokemon, just stupid, you know, just crazy things.
Mm-hmm.
But,
And so, as far as I remember, I don't think anybody knew I had a PlayStation 2. I don't think I knew anyone else that had one. It's like, it just
the
was
big, thick one, or the little
the
small
real
slim
thick
one?
one. Like,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
original
yeah.
one. No one knew anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no one was, like, talking about video games or anything besides the DS.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was something people could go around and play with. I think I did forget to add, though, I did play Pokemon when I was younger. And Yu-Gi-Oh!
Really?
But the only reason is because I went to a private school.
Yeah.
There were 8 kids in my class.
Mm-hmm.
No, there was 13. 13. There was like 5
Bad
boys.
number.
Five boys, 8 girls.
Okay.
So all the guys, since there's only 5 of us, that's like a literal group of friends, and that was your whole year. Like, not even just your class, that was your whole year. Like 3rd grade, that's it.
Yeah.
So, you know, you all became best friends.
Mm-hmm.
And either one of us or 2 of us, you know, got into Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Beyblade or Pokemon, whatever was like the thing then.
Yeah.
And we all played that. Like, everyone's like, I was like, yo, I told my dad, I was like, my friend's name was Dominic, no one's gonna know him. I was like, Dominic's got Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, I want those.
Yeah.
I think that was the only time my, like, dad took, like, any little interest in that stuff at all.
Yeah.
And we went to a place called Clem's Collectibles.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
And you know, we talked to the guy. The reason my dad even checked it out is to make sure it was nothing, like, weird.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
So there was some iffy cards back then, but we'll get into that
We just
later.
wanted to, like, he was like, what is it? Like, trading cards weren't really a thing besides baseball cards back in his day.
Yeah.
So it was like, you know, what is this?
Get your pack of gum, get some...
So, you know, the guy,
cards.
you know, Clem, because, like, he's the owner,
Yeah.
talked to my dad, told him what it was. My dad's like, oh, okay, that's fine. And so then my dad, you know, his attempt to get closer to me was like, oh, I'll get a pack of cards too or something. You know, he got one, and then not like I ever played them in there or anything like that, but that was about it.
That's so cool.
I
though.
didn't really give a shit. I was like, I just want my cards.
Yeah.
You know, I just wanted my cards, and then we talked to our friends. I did have that one friend, though, who's like, my dad works for blah, 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 works at, like, with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Company or whatever. He was that one friend.
Yeah.
And you had no proof that he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the only reason anyone believed him was because he did have some, like, really rare-ass cards, but that was about it.
Yeah.
But yeah. It was still, like, at least for me-wise, I was just quiet about it. I was like, yeah, I don't really play games that much. I did start to play games a lot more, though. And that's when I started to play them, I guess, more by myself. And that was when my brother was still playing them, too.
Yeah.
Which I can say now, he doesn't touch video games at all.
As I say, he doesn't, as far as I've heard, he doesn't sound like he's really into, like, all of our type of stuff at all.
Nope.
But, yeah.
That's all I got from, like, the ages 10 to at least 16.
for mine, it was... We did Pokemon, like, we...
Did you do them?
We didn't play
It's gonna
Pokemon.
sound weird. I was like, did you do Pokemon in public, though?
Yes.
Or was this at, like, just other
Did we
people's
actually...
houses?
Shit, dude, when
Like,
we were in
Were
elementary,
you, like, at lunch and be like, were you those kids, like, trading Pokemon cards and stuff?
There was a lot bigger group than what you would think. There was everybody. I mean, even the supposed cool kids in elementary, they all brought their Yu-Gi-Oh! And
Well,
Pokemon cards.
This is middle school now.
No, elementary still. This happened in elementary, like the very, very end of it, alright?
What grade are you in when you're, like, 10? Isn't that, like, 3rd grade?
10, it's like 4 or 5.
Yeah, 4th or 5th grade? That's what I was thinking. It's like 4th or 5th grade. That's the era I'm at right now.
No, mine was 3rd or 4th.
Something like that.
Yeah, they would bring all their cards for recess and lunch, and we would all try to see what we could trade during that time and see who could get the best deals or whatever. And that was a thing.
What do you mean, get the best deals?
Yeah, like how many cards you could trade to get this crazy card. You'd like offer, oh, I got these 3 here.
Oh, so
I'll
you
give you
guys just traded and collected.
Yeah, nobody played Pokemon.
Gotcha.
Everybody played Yu-Gi-Oh, but nobody played Pokemon.
Pokemon, okay, I will say this. Pokemon was a lot harder card game to understand than Yu-Gi-Oh.
Well, yeah, because it was like magic. You had to
Yu-Gi-Oh
tap
made
stuff
sense,
and you had
and
to...
they explained it in the show. That's
Yeah.
why it made sense, because you had the show.
And then Pokemon, it was just like, oh yeah, I got this Pokemon now.
The minute they said flip the coin was the minute I was like, this is gay. Which sounds bad, but that's what we used to say back in the day. It was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I talked about the game before, like in one of the earlier podcasts where we had the game, Smear the Queer. That was a game we played all the time.
I remember that, yeah. And people broke their collarbones and everything. It was an interesting time.
Mhm.
But
So you were very public about it, though. Like,
our school was. And then once you hit, like, end of elementary into middle school, everything was, like, frowned upon.
Mhm.
Like, instantly. Like, elementary, it was like, oh, this new thing. Like, everybody has cards. Let's trade them. Let's see how many great cards we can get in one go. And that was, like, the daily routine. Everybody would bring their cards. I'm not saying just a small group. I mean, like, all these
that makes
guys...
sense.
All these guys would do it. Like, all the girls would be over talking and chatting. All the guys would either be playing on the playground or bring their cards, and they would all try to trade each other. And then once you hit, like, end of elementary, once puberty started hitting in middle school and all that, that all was just gone. Like, if you still liked any of that stuff, you were a kid.
You were, no, for us, it wasn't kid.
Mm-hmm.
You were just one of those weird kids that no one talked to, and you probably smelled bad. That's just something that happened to be a thing that they just didn't smell good.
Yeah.
But you were like, no one really hung out with him. Like, oh yeah, he ain't got no friends. You know, none of the girls like him. That was
Yeah.
the thing.
That was me in middle school. I don't think I smelled bad per se, but I wore, like, really baggy clothes. And that's when I started getting, like...
Did you wear big t-shirts?
Yeah. Yeah. I was like I used to be super thin. I got like overweight and wore the big t-shirts and the really like low shorts and stuff like that. And I was like the nerdy kid. I wore like the white American flag t-shirts or something like that. And then like the long blue baggy shorts. It was bad. Wore the high up socks with the low cut shoes.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it was bad. We don't talk about that.
But did you still have like a group of friends or something you talked to, or like did that nerdy stuff with, or was it just like a you thing now?
I know we still had some friends that did that type of stuff. It was mainly during that time. It was like Cameron. You guys probably know Cameron's Ninja Warrior. Cameron, because he's still good buddies with me. He actually just left my house not too long ago. My buddy Eric.
You still smell him.
Oh yeah, we still smell him here. Gosh, his smell so rank.
I didn't say bad. I just said
I
smell.
did. No, he actually used to like spray his cologne like everywhere, and you would know if he was
All
here.
right, look, that was a middle school thing.
He
Like,
still
that's
does
when,
it though.
That's when Axe came. Oh, okay.
He still does it.
So that's when Axe came out, and the thing was, shh, walk through.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a girl thing.
No, that was the guy's
No,
locker
it's
room.
both.
And then they would start making a game out of it. Who could spray who and who would smell the like most like it, like who would get toxic.
Okay,
that was
we
a thing.
set it on fire.
You set it on fire.
Yeah, because so if you spray it on anything, it doesn't burn the item. It only burns the cologne physically.
Yeah.
So this one kid like set his book bag like with a bunch of axes, like did a real dot. He just set it on fire on the bus. No one knew about it. But anyways, yeah. And he
That's
did it to his
amazing.
arm.
Why?
I don't know. He's to prove it.
I like pyrotechnics.
He brought a ninja star to school, all right?
He placed 97 out of 97. Oh goodness. Yeah, those were interesting times. Anyways, nerd stuff.
Those are the shows you watched?
Oh, dude. So I did like all the old cartoons. Oh gosh, no. I did all the old cartoons, like Tom and Jerry, stuff like that.
No, I'm just talking about like anime stuff. Like I'll say everyone watched cartoons.
Yeah. At like age 5 or 6, my buddy Austin got me to start watching Naruto. And that's like, I took that over hard from him because he's just like, oh, it's cool, because he was into Dragon Ball. He liked Dragon Ball more than he liked Naruto. But he's like, yeah, it has ninjas and stuff. I'm like, oh, it can't be that good. Started watching it. Now I have that. You see that? That's a thing.
It's a Baruto's dad wall.
Gosh. But yeah, that became a thing, and that stayed forever. Dragon Ball was kind of like, it's alright. It's nothing spectacular, though. And I don't know, like during that time...
What'd you watch it on? Like Toonami?
Yeah, Toonami I watched it on. And then that's when I started, like once the beginning part of Naruto ended, that's when I got into like the manga and stuff, but that's later on. But yeah, I'd watch it on Toonami late at night, and then it was like anything after that, I'm like, nah. It was just like Naruto, and like my buddy Austin and I, we would sit down, wait until like 9 o'clock, and we were like, Naruto's next episode, and we'd sit there and just like try to guess what was going to happen and stuff. Now it's like actually Serena and I are rewatching it, and it's so cringy. Like, just
So-
watching it because it's like, still images, nothing happens in this episode. Like Dragon Ball that's screaming for 3 episodes just to charge up a movie. Yeah, basically that.
So then, we'll go back to me at that age. Whenever I saw Toonami come on,
Mm-hmm.
I was probably watching TV with my brother or something. Every time we saw Toonami got on, it was the same feeling of them and Nickelodeon putting it on Earth Day.
Yeah.
And we're like, this is so dumb. Why is this a thing? They should get rid of it. Nobody likes
Yep.
this.
Yo.
That's what my reaction was. But apparently a lot of people do watch Toonami. Or like did.
I used to have that reaction until Naruto, and then anything after that, I was just like, gosh, this is stupid. Why did they get all this time? Because I
The
stay up late.
Only one I kind of watched was Samurai Jack, and that's because
That one too.
that was the first one. I just kind of fell asleep to it.
And then actually on Cartoon Network 2 back at that time, before Toonami came on, they would have Teen Titans at like 8:30, right before Toonami.
Mm.
Because I remember I have some of the VHS recordings still where they were like, Samurai Jack's up next, but now Teen Titans, and then they would start it and you'd hear the theme song or the like beginning
So I'd
intro.
watch Teen Titans.
You did
but
watch Teen Titans?
I'm pretty sure I didn't watch it at the same way you did.
Oh, probably not. I was
The way I
obsessed.
watched it is I probably watched the same episode like 10 times. I didn't even notice.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, this green dude's on again. Purple haired girl. It's the black dude. That was about it.
Best descriptions. Green, dude.
It was like, there's that superhero movie with the Japanese girl singing. That was about it. I was like, I like this show, but I'm not going to go any further past watching it.
Did you ever watch Puffy and Umi?
Well, no. 'Cause I
They were
don't know
the
what that
lead
meant.
singers. They ended up
I
getting...
don't know what that meant.
They were the singers of the show, and they ended up getting their own TV show. It was a cartoon animated series.
But yeah, no. It was like, every time I saw that stuff, it's like, eh. But I did watch a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon. Pokemon and then Beyblade.
Yeah.
And then Beyblade.
Did you ever collect the Beyblades and fight other people?
I
Get
had
those
that- I had
plastic rings?
Maybe 2 or 3.
2 or 3. Did you ever try to customize them together?
Oh,
Try to get
I
them
did
to
all
work?
the time. I had the best one.
Oh, goodness. My buddy Matthew had the best one at that time. I was trying to beat him all the time. I couldn't.
I tried to get the heaviest one I could, and then I gave it... They had ones where, like, these, like, little, like, things would come out.
Yep.
I had that. I'd usually win.
Gosh.
Because it was so heavy.
Yep. They would either stop because yours would either spin away from theirs, like the heavy ones. They would sit in the middle, and you would either run into them or theirs would stop spinning by the time yours just keeps going.
Did you ever have a friend who had the Yu-Gi-Oh! Thing? Or were you that friend?
What do you mean the Yu-Gi-Oh thing? Like the dual mats? Oh, yeah, I was that friend. I had
The armband.
2 of them. 2 dual discs.
Did you wear them at the same time ever?
Yes.
Okay.
And we would use the... Oh, I don't even want to talk about that. Gosh.
Leave it.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave it. Oh, gosh.
But
Because we'd play... Oh, man. During that time, we would, like, play dress-up and stuff and try to act like the heroes in the shows, too.
I can't criticize. I can't because we. Okay, did you ever?
Oh, no.
Did you ever watch Gargoyles on Disney
Yes.
Channel? Yep, we would.
I didn't like it during that time. It freaked me out, actually.
See, I never watched anything I ever watched. I never watched past. If it was on, it was on. That was it.
Yeah.
Never went past that.
Teen Titans, I was
Even
a
with
set schedule.
even with Avatar, never went past that. Really? Yeah.
All right, continue. Sorry.
No, I was just saying that I can't criticize because like.
Did you do dress up of gargoyles and act like them?
No, we didn't dress up, but we. I think it was because I started really early making my own stories.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't like write scripts or anything, but I'd write like a plot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd tell them about it and we'd decide if we wanted to like play pretend. We did that a lot, like all day long. Like
Was it
when
all
we're outside.
was it all about gargoyles though?
No, not
Oh, okay.
always. Like it could be integrated.
I love being a statue.
Percentage wise, how much was it about gargoyles?
There was only a small amount of time where like the whole thing was centered on it, but like that was around the time where I started getting into fantasy and things like that. Like it was like after I started getting into like the horror books and things. Like I started writing coming up with my own stories.
I used to like scary books.
Really? I did not during that time. I did not care for them.
I thought they were interesting. I used to read a lot.
Did you?
Yeah.
I only did comics and stuff like that. Like, I did the thicker books because my mother got to the point where she was like, hey, if you don't start reading, like, you're going to fall behind and things like that, even though I was, like, a smarter kid for that time period. But she's like, you're going to fall behind. And then she was like, started making a game where if I like read so much this week or read this big book or whatever, that she would like try to get me small things and start like, you know, making it a thing, like a game.
My parents had a rule about books. It was, we will never not buy you a book.
Really?
Yep.
Just get me 25 comics and...
They didn't consider that wasn't a book.
Yeah.
I had a library card for like 5 different libraries for wherever we were because my aunt moved around
You're
a
a fucking
lot.
nerd.
I did, but I never used them.
And so my
He's
aunt
not
moved around a lot, and we'd see her like every other
Just-
weekend or so. And then, so we'd go to the library before we'd see her or after we saw her, and then we'd get like a stack of books. And I'd have it done in a couple of days. And
Gosh, you fucking intellectual,
I
you.
only checked out a certain amount, like a certain like type of book.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna judge me for it, but I always rented like how to play chess books and like chess strategy books.
I don't judge you at all for it.
I
I have a
have
glass chess set.
No clue why. I think it's just because I thought they looked cool, and I was like, I want to learn how to play chess.
Did you ever have chess tournaments when you were in like elementary, middle school there?
No,
Really?
no, because we played outside. We played football.
That's fair. Okay.
We played football. That's what it was. You play football, fly. Fly was a fun game.
Uh-huh.
And we'd do anything.
so you're a geek at heart, but you just didn't want to admit it because you didn't want to be rejected by society.
I didn't know what it was.
Solid ASMR stream here.
Yeah, I know we're being quiet. Yeah. But I mean, that's mostly what it was.
Nobody wants to hear you chew, babe.
It was mostly like
I don't wanna hear you
that
too.
culture didn't exist. Like the nerd culture didn't exist at all, to me.
Yeah.
Or like the area I was around or the people I talked to, like, didn't exist. It was
It
like
definitely
it
existed
was
in
like
ours.
you're weird. That's what it was. I'm pretty much done with this age group, wise at least.
I haven't even been able to get into that age group.
Go for it.
I think we're kind of just doing it.
Yeah, speak up.
It was
Make
one
us
of
shut
those,
up.
Okay, it was about. So where are we at right now? Like
We
like
until
to talk,
age,
so you
like,
just gotta-
15?
10 to 16, whatever, 15.
Okay.
Stop whatever.
It was just like. It was in that time that my mom and my dad tried to get me strictly into sports because Desi got into sports. My older sister.
I hated sports. I hated baseball.
She was in basketball, soccer. She never really got into softball or anything like that, but we'd play baseball in our backyard. We had a really big backyard. And then, like, we lived near the factory where I lived.
Yeah.
And there was, like, this field. Just, like, there was this
I
field
got a story about that too now.
by the parking lot that we lived at. Like, we lived right next to it. I don't know if I showed you where we lived.
No.
But we lived right next to it. We lived right across the street from that factory. And then, like, there was a field out there, kind of field. Just blank area where you could, like, I don't know, like a plot of land. And that's where we'd play baseball because... Anyway.
Why
I'm
not?
getting off track. They wanted me to get into sports that way. I wasn't sports athletic. I was outside athletic because I liked running around and things like that. And, like, I loved hiking. But then around that time I got into the idea of hunting because some of my dad's family or friends were into that, and he wanted to start getting into that. And then he told me about, like, these little girls that were out there with arrows and, like, bows and stuff like that. And so I was like, you know what, I can
Like
do
in
that.
a good way or bad way?
What?
Because you made it sound like they were gonna shoot, like
Yeah.
they shot each other with arrows.
No, like they were out there hunting, like with their
Oh, okay.
dads. Like, so I was
Gotcha.
like,
I was gonna say, I
it'd be
took
a
it
way.
the same way he did. I was like, what?
It's just
There's
like,
these evil elves out there. They're gonna shoot you if you come into the forest.
No, because they'd be setting in a tent or up in a tree,
Uh-huh.
like
Yeah.
because they were small enough to be up in the tree, you know, like and not break anything. And so their families would plant them up there, and then they'd injure the deer so that they could follow it or whatever, like trail it.
Mhm.
And that was kind of their role. And my dad was talking about that, and then I was like, oh, because I'm not into sports, and Desiree's always doing blah 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 extracurricular this and that. Like, I could get into that with him. Because I thought, like, maybe that'd make them happy because they wanted us to be, like, sportsy people. And I was just a nerd. I liked math, and I liked to read. I preferred to have stayed inside, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked all
And-
the school stuff too. Sorry to interrupt. Like, I liked all the school stuff too, but it was mostly like the only reason for that was my parents were like, school's the most important. So they were like
Yeah,
video
because-
games. They were like outdoors is really a waste of time. It's just like, it was like anything that wasn't like school related is like a waste of time.
Yeah.
It was same for me at that time too, and then it was like, middle school and high school, and then you're just like, is it really though?
But that was
I don't
also when I started. You're probably gonna hate me, but my first nerdy movies or nerdy anything that I got into was Marvel's X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first thing that was ever shown, and then I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!"
You're talking about the movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was into it too.
That was because I hadn't seen any shows or anything of it.
What Marvel movies were out besides Spider-Man?
X-Men, Spider-Man, sorry.
And it was after X-Men.
They had a lot of cartoons.
Oh, okay.
Movie-wise, though, Batman.
Some of the Batmans, older Batmans.
Yeah. Catwoman, but I don't know if you really want to count that because that was kind of eh.
No, that was one of my other... That one and Elektra.
Yeah,
That
Daredevil.
was
Daredevil was out at that time, too.
Yeah.
I remember Daredevil.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
That was
cool. Because it was after X-Men that, like, my mom actually kind of got excited that I got into it because she liked the old Batman movies and she read some comic books when she was younger.
Like Adam West.
And so she tried...
Bam!
She showed me, like, classics and things like that. Like, she wanted me to get into that kind of era, but, like, I was in... It was still kind of new. Like, to her, it was classic or whatever.
I was mimicking you.
So that's interesting. You both had parents or something that were, like, into this nerdy stuff.
Yeah.
In one way or another.
My dad wasn't. It was like he was into the
But your mom
scene of
was.
getting in trouble and smoking and getting drunk all the time when he was younger. Like, it started when he was like 10.
Yeah.
So
He's the bad boy. Leather
whatever-
jackets.
like, and then like when he'd tell me about his babysitter where he would call her a bitch all the time, and he just like did everything that he could to just be the most terrible child ever.
Yeah.
And I don't know, he was like that up until like a couple years before he met my mom.
Mm-hmm.
But your mom was, like, into, like, Batman, you said, and other stuff like that.
Not
She's like them
necessarily.
thick boys.
She was
Sorry.
varsity team in high school. She got some offers from some colleges and stuff like that, but she had a really rough home life and she dropped out of school at 16. So she never was able to take up those opportunities because she was really into sports and things like that. And whatever, she collects Smurfs and like she had like these little geeky, little dorky things that she had at home.
Quirks.
Like, back in the day, 80s nerd stuff.
Like
That's
her
what it
dad
was.
would teach her how to box, and he'd like pretty much like beat her up until she'd be able to fight back.
Boxing's such a Mexican thing.
It is. It really is.
I mean, that's off subject completely.
because my mom, when she gets drunk, she likes watching.
all my
boxing
uncles,
matches.
all my uncles
I
and
don't
dad were
know.
in boxing.
How did wrestling become a big thing, by the way?
What do you mean?
Like, how...
In our area?
Just in general.
Since Greece.
I mean, like,
It was
okay,
one of
but
the
like
first
the
Olympic sports.
performance, not like actual wrestling.
Oh,
I mean
you
like
mean like
WWE
WWE?
stuff.
Like the fake shit.
Yeah, the ones that are like super over the top.
Entertainment.
Yeah, is it really though?
It's just
Is
I don't know.
it?
Some people just like I
People
don't
like
know.
a lot of the showmanship behind it. Like, I watched one of The Rock's, like,
They
old
like getting real
videos.
hyped.
Yeah.
Really funny.
Yeah, he does it really funny. Yeah, I
So
agree
there's-
with that.
He's not the only one that was like that, though. It was like, people like the...
Undertaker.
People know it's fake. Especially now. People know it's fake, but it's like, you know, the whole hype behind it, the backstories, it's just like, it's TV.
Yeah. Performance. Oh,
It's like the epitome of like.
you guys remember Whammy too?
Like the old ass, like,
Yeah.
game show,
No,
I guess.
I don't.
That was funny. Sorry, it just made me think of
But, well, because I was going to say both of my parents were, like, not into any of that. Like, my dad's most was, like, playing Galaga. That was it.
it. Mm-hmm.
They were both, like, they tell me all the time when they were growing up, like, when they say they were my age.
Yeah.
They were out, their whole goal was to get as shit-faced as they could. It was work, and then when it was the weekend and time to party, you went and partied with your friends.
That's pretty much.
That's
how
all it
ended
was.
up, yeah.
Oh, no. Ours was just sleepovers and stay up as late as you could or do whatever you could. And then middle school, like back on that topic too, I got out of like my nerdy stuff for a while. Like I would still play games and stuff, but I got out of that for a while and I was hanging out with like the bad group of kids or whatever, for a while.
I bet they're not that bad.
They were like the ones that would like swear all the time and do stupid stuff, and they were the kids that like a lot of people didn't like. Not like the nerdy side. Just a lot of people didn't like them.
So still the weird kids.
Yeah, but just not the crowd that I was supposed to be in. And then later middle school, like I was just an outcast through all that or whatever. And then later I started getting back into it and everything. And I got out of like anime and stuff for a while because, you know, Naruto at that time was kind of like ending or whatever and it was going to Shippuden.
No clue.
Black books.
I know, I'm just saying no clue. Didn't exist.
But manga is when I started getting into that. I started getting into like the cheesy romance mangas too. And like into like, I don't know. You ever read Elfen Lied?
Nope.
Okay, I read that entire series, like a whole bunch of, and that one was a darker side. That was like adult stuff, not like
boobs.
Porn, not like that type. More like people were getting murdered and shit and that, and it was like blood, gore, that type of stuff. Not like porn and things like that, but that was like my thing. I would stay up real late at night and I would just like read that. That was that was my thing. How to stay nerdy aside from just games.
So,
but
I think then we can move to like high school.
Yeah.
At least. I can definitely tell you in high school, all I would do is play Call of Duty. Like that was my video games.
Middle school too.
I got a PS3. Again, when you were in middle school, I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So, Modern Warfare 2 is the first like Call of Duty game I got. That was the first time I made an online account. First time I like, you know, started to make friends online and play games. I played a lot of SOCOM.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. That's when I got my first clan. But that's all I did was first person shooters. That's all that was really fun to me. Like I didn't like other games didn't really exist.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything besides that. And that was like when like the PS3 was for like both me and my brother. But by that time my brother was like
what year did you guys get your PS3? Because I got mine real late.
oh shit. What year did I start high school?
Because I got mine in like 2010.
Okay, 2009 maybe. Yeah, 2009 were about when I started high school.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like 2009. I guess you are 14 or something when you start high school, but essentially that's when I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Got my PS3. But that's also when I got my first phone. That's kind of when you're like...
Also, I think I got mine in middle school.
That's definitely when you start only having like a group of friends.
Yeah.
I had 3 best friends and that was it. It was like we were a group of 4. I still talk to everyone else, but like that was like my main group of friends I hung out with. Still didn't talk about video games. Definitely was not watching a single thing of anime. Nothing close to it at all.
That was later.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I was going to say it's nothing like close to that at all. All I was worried about in high school was like probably normal high school boy stuff.
Girls.
It was girls. That's all it was.
Mm-hmm.
Girls and just being in school.
Dating, being a cool kid, sports and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wasn't into sports then. I gave up on football because I hated the high school coach. Because, you know, country school again, your junior high and high school is all the same.
Mm-hmm.
So, I didn't like him. And then I moved on to other sports. I was still in sports. I was still, you know, only playing first-person shooters really late at night, and that was about it.
I have a question. Was
really
your
went
guys'
off.
5th grade in elementary school?
Yeah. No, in middle school.
Yeah, mine was middle school.
5th was elementary.
So when I was in elementary, that was my private school up to like 4th grade. Then I started 5th grade at the school I graduated. And that was technically middle school. Middle school to junior high was technically 5th to 6th grade. And junior high was 7th to 8th grade.
Yep.
And then your high school, freshman and on. But yeah.
Mine was 1st through 5th as elementary.
I would say high school is the very furthest I ever, like, even further, like, as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, just away from, like, all the nerd stuff.
Middle school.
I still like Star Wars through all this, though. I never mentioned that.
That's nerdy. It's a big nerd culture.
All it was I'd watch the movies. That was it.
You wouldn't try to get a cloak or anything like that, or...
I got lightsabers when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But that's because I got hit people with stuff. That was about it. I watched Phantom Menace because my dad took me to it.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "This is Star Wars." That was the other thing my dad liked. My dad liked Star Wars because he, you know, grew up when the first movie came out.
Yeah.
Like that was the thing. Like nobody was not into Star Wars in that generation.
Second one, third.
Yeah.
Second one was.
So I watched the second one on bootleg. because my grandpa would bootleg a lot of stuff. And then, it's the third one. I might have talked about it with my one friend I kind of had in high school, and that might have been about it.
Mm-hmm.
We just been like, that was cool.
Then that was it.
And it stopped there.
Yeah.
I had no like theories about like, what's this, what's that going on. I think like around that time I was just learning, like, about the old three.
Right.
Because a lot of people try to forget that for some reason. But, like, I grew up with the prequels. So, to me, those are better than the sequels.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a shit what anyone says, especially in this chat, if they say that's wrong.
John Grievous is best. Sorry.
Because I've watched the sequels a lot. And those are as ridiculous as the first ones. It's just less CGI.
Did you watch the animated series they had? Not the 3D one, the 2D drawn one.
Nope. I don't even know what that is.
Really?
I watched the 3D one when I was
good.
about in college. But that's a different era.
Right.
And that was about it. I was just kind of like,
So you don't know who Ventress is?
I do.
You do know who... Was she in the 3D one?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they brought her back anyways then. The second one, that was good.
But it was all... no one talked about that stuff. It was kind of like,
Yeah.
You were just trying to fuck.
Hmm?
And so we were just trying to fuck. So that's all my high school was.
For me, high school was... I don't know, it was...
He'd Naruto run across the lunchroom.
That was middle school. We actually did that in elementary, too. We did that at recess.
I think we had a kid do that one time. We were like, what the fuck is he doing? We didn't even know what it was. He's like, he runs really weird. He's like, I think he needs special help. We were mean. All right, I'll say that.
Oh.
A lot wasn't accepted back in that day, I'll say that.
Yeah. No, high school, like, Call of Duty and stuff was the end of middle school. And we got heavily into that. I made some actually really good friends from that. No, high school was getting into a lot more extensive gaming than just Call of Duty and stuff. Like, in high school, we would still do, late night zombies talk, like, have actual discussions, see how far we could get in zombies and stuff. But that's when we started getting into, like, a lot more different types of games. Anime, I started getting a lot more into anime, more than I ever thought I would, because anime kind of became uncool for a while and everything, but I still would read a lot of manga.
Anime was never cool.
Hey.
It's still not cool.
It's great.
It's more normalized.
Yeah, it's still great, though.
It's not cool, though.
No. Apparently Pokemon's cool, though. Now, anyways, because, Pokemon Go came out. Oh, now it's all cool. Back when I was in fucking school, everybody would...
With Fat Pikachu.
Yeah. Everybody would shit on you if you watched Pokemon, did Yu-Gi-Oh!, any of that. Like, elementary, it was different, but in middle school and high school, it's like, if you liked any of that, gosh, you're such a kid, why don't you grow up? Gosh, you're such a nerd. You'll never be cool like us.
You're so nice about it, because for me, it was like, man, bet that kid's a virgin.
Oh, yeah, no, that was the thing, too, yeah. Yeah, no, that was the thing. I'm just not touching on that extensive.
All right, this is going to sound real bad, but the joke was that kid's going to shoot the school.
Yeah, that also was a thing.
That was a thing back in the day. That was way before it became a thing.
They also would say, if you were still into all that stuff, they would think you're gay. They would think that you're going to shoot up the school.
I would say, you don't gotta, like, hide of what it actually was. That's what it was.
Yeah, no, it was bad. I don't know.
So did you say you got from elementary to middle school to high school? Would you say you were probably, like, more into all this video game and anime superhero stuff?
Middle school, I got more out of it until the end, and then high school, I went way back into it, because I was trying to, like, middle school, I was, like, trying to become part of, like, the cooler side or whatever, cooler at that time, side of it, and then I was, like, in high school, I just kind of realized, I'm like, nah, this is me, fuck everyone else. Like, first 2 years, it was kind of like transitioning, and then, like, last 2 years, I'm just like, nope, this is just who I am, deal with it.
Now, I'll say this, I wasn't cool in high school.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't thought of, like, as a weird kid.
Mm-hmm.
I was, like, legit, like, just in the middle.
Mm-hmm. And that was my high school. Because I was just in the middle.
Till I got 2 girlfriends, and people were like, ugh. I don't like that.
You're not supposed to have 2
You're not supposed to have 2 girlfriends.
Daniel. You're not supposed to have 2.
That's a different topic that will never come on the show.
It's already on the show.
It's already been on you and Kennedy.
You brought it up multiple times before. Yeah.
It's on the show.
You brought it up
Go back and watch
3
it.
times now. Gosh.
Yeah.
It'll never be on the show. It already has.
It's for a main topic.
No, not a main topic. No, we're not going to bring that up. But no, it is just like high school was just realization that this is how it's always going to be.
Again, I asked, so were you public about it, or
Oh
friend,
yeah,
like,
in
fri-
high school I
friends
definitely
talk
was,
about-
but at the same time I got involved in everything.
So like you're sitting in the lunch table talking about Baruto's dad.
Yes, we talked about Naruto.
Okay.
I mean, we weren't like I don't know, during like lunchtime for like 4 County. With 4 County, like that's where I ended up.
Oh
going
yeah, I
later
forgot you
on.
were at Fort Joint.
Yeah, like last 2 years they were great. Like during lunchtime, we had our own little group or whatever. We didn't hang out with a lot of the other people because all they wanted to do was talk about sex and drugs and parties and all that. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not part of that. I'm still not.
I
part
still
of,
think it seems weird that you went there, but that's a different topic.
That's because Okay, my original school, because almost the thing. My original school, they pretty much if you
fingered
weren't.
each other's they fingered the freshmen's assholes. I remember that was the thing. The football team.
That was the thing. We won't talk about that. Gosh.
Somebody says Star Wars rules.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
Star Trek sucks.
It was. Star Trek was good.
The
No.
Just
old,
not as good.
the old Star Trek. My grandma used to watch those.
Did you wear a red shirt?
What?
Sorry, Star Trek joke.
What?
Red shirts, they always died.
They were
Yeah, the
Italian
diapers.
gangsters that
No, it's just like
became dictators. No,
No.
you said the red shirts.
Yeah,
Some
red
they do.
shirts. You never wore a red shirt in Star Trek, or else you were gone. You're a goner. Life happens.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Don't worry about it. Anyways, what was I? Oh no. Okay, original school. Basically, if you weren't in sports or if you weren't part of like every nerdy group there was, like chess team or quiz bowl or something like that, you were just hated on.
I wasn't.
You were like, even if you did stuff at home and you were part of your community and everything, you were just hated on.
I will say this: a lot of my high school was band.
I was not part
And
of it.
I don't know if people understand the full rumors of band, but most of them are true. Where it's like people join band to fuck. That's pretty much what it was.
That was some of them, yeah.
No, it was most of them.
For ours, it was just some.
I'm the reason why. I'm pretty sure I said this. I'm the reason why why boys and girls don't know how to sit together on the school bus anymore for band trips. Maybe they are now again, but
What did you do?
did you want to talk about it?
I mean, we
Because
can.
that would be considered child pornography. Because I was underage at that time, so I think we should not talk about it. I understand it's
I
myself,
know what
but
you did. I don't. Oh gosh.
we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. So, anyways, I went to Fort County. You know that the whole reason I went there too, especially, is because during my last year at my original school, like I got into engineering stuff. I'm just like, well, why stay here where we get bullied and are made fun of even by like the main teachers and stuff. I mean, there were some that were really cool and helpful and stuff, but other ones that were just like, why are you even here type of deal,
I think people tried to bully me, and then I punched them, and they were too scared to do it back. So
I was in karate at the time. If we did that,
you should have karate killed people.
We got beat if, like, at the actual dojo, we would get like beat if we did stuff like that.
Glad I wasn't in karate because I'd beat the shit out of people.
I mean, yeah, if you were actually getting bullied and beat up and stuff, you're supposed to fight back. But I mean, if you were just like getting made fun of, you were not allowed to do shit like that.
Oh,
Like that was just bad. But no, I went to Fort County. I'd gotten into engineering and stuff, and like during that time, like the beginning of while I was there, I still wasn't like cool or anything like that. And then like afterwards, it was just like I was part of everything, so I was just cool with everyone. Like everyone was really chill. If they weren't, then they were probably the people going to jail and shit like that while they were at Fort County.
Oh, you mean the kids going to CCNO?
Yeah. So that was the only people I wasn't really cool with. I mean, everybody else, I had friends everywhere there. There was like 12.
I had friends, guys.
I did.
I did.
There was 1,200 kids there, and I knew probably at least half the school there. It was, I don't know, it was great. We all knew each other. We all had fun. I mean, even if you were like part of like the representatives of blah blah blah, you were still cool with like the people that were like talking about cars. Because I mean, at that time I had my Camaro, and I would talk with all the car kids. I'd talk with all the tech kids. I'd talk with the cosmetology people because I had friends in that. I was friends with everyone. It was fun. It was great, and we could be nerdy. We could. Just, I don't know, we'd do a whole bunch of different stuff, and it was fun. So I was very open about it at that time. I would talk to everybody about it. I was just like, you see that anime last night? You read this, you do that. We would all have our screensavers as like anime stuff.
I do
or
have a
games.
question because my answer would be no. At this point, have you bought any like anime or like any other like nerdy merch on your own?
Manga.
But like you'd physically like something you'd wear or something.
Shirts.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so with Overwatch, I got my Pachimari shirt.
Overwatch is all like newer though. Was Overwatch out when you were in high school?
No, college.
Yeah, so
College.
wrong era.
Okay, so like high school time.
I just meant at this point, have you bought anything for yourself that you'd consider nerdy?
Like as of recent.
No.
Or at that point in time.
In high school.
Okay.
Yes. That's why I said at that point, not this point.
Yes.
I'm assuming you didn't have
Yes.
a job at this
like,
point.
okay, those statues and shit, some of the statues and stuff that I have, yeah, those. And we would go to conventions and stuff. Like, during that time was when we started going to, like, ASEN and things like that. And Anna Marathon and everything was, like, high school time. So that's when we started going to conventions. We'd buy cosplay stuff and we'd, like, try to, because, you know, I had my engineering job. I didn't have to stress about anything because I was doing work while I was also school. Like,
Yeah.
that was the cool thing, is you could work while you were in school. And it would be counted as a grade, and you did good. But yeah, so I had money. I went and bought cosplay stuff. We would cosplay. We'd go to these conventions, make more friends, and we'd buy statues and things like that, or posters, or And we would make trips just to go to this one anime store up in Michigan. Like, I don't know. I was very open about things like that at that time. So. I'm allowed to talk now.
I hadn't even finished my middle school stuff, but
We'll bring that up.
I
Start
thought
there.
you were done.
oh well, geez.
There's a tiny person back there.
Well,
What?
You can talk. I'm just looking at the tiny person.
Tiny person? What the fuck are you talking about?
You don't see a tiny person with a staff there? Am I crazy?
What are you talking about? Where?
probably.
Right there, between the TV and the computer. Look down.
In between here.
Yes.
Oh gosh. Hits my hat. I'm not used to my hat yet. Anyways.
They're not used to wearing hats.
Tiny person with a staff. Oh.
You gotta be shitting me. There is a tiny person there with a staff. I see
Where?
pants. Right there with the red shirt.
That is a piece of wire.
What? Nuh-uh.
No, yeah, that's.
Oh, are you talking
Those
about
are the jalapeno
my
lights.
jalapeno lights?
Oh my god, it looks like...
You're not crazy. It's shaped weird for you.
Alright, it looks like someone's wearing khakis and has a red shirt and they're going like this, holding a wooden staff.
Yeah, it does. From where he's looking, yeah.
It's like the rest of the body's hidden.
I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
I thought one of my Overwatch characters fell or something. Because I got my little tiny ones. I thought they like fell behind the TV. I'm like, Mercy? Question mark? I don't have Mercy though.
No, it looks like the guy from One Piece. I can't remember his name right now.
Oh, Luffy?
Yeah, it looks like Luffy. I swear to God.
I see what he means.
I
Anyways.
don't, but that's okay. I'm so confused.
I'm a little tired. Anyways, continue with your middle school, high school story.
Yeah, now that tiny person isn't.
Isn't a thing anymore.
Apparently it's a jalapeno.
Jalapeno lights. My jalapeno Christmas lights because I liked them. Continue. Just move this away so I can eat my apple in peace.
I guess middle school was a time for me where I was like on and off with a lot of stuff. Like, middle school was kind of when I started getting into Call of Duty because Tony had an Xbox at that time, Xbox 360. He just got one of the new ones, and then like it was just something he would do, so it would be us spending time with him. And then he got into playing the Lego games with us.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, and like we had Indiana Jones and Batman,
Yep.
and
Yep.
we would play those over and over and over again, and Tony would sit there and play them with us. And he would even watch like our Disney Channel shows with us when we were like watching those, because he liked Austin and Ally, because he liked Dez. Like he died at that one time where he Dez said that he was gonna catch Austin, his girlfriend, and he goes, trick while there's a dart, fishing net, and he does that stupid shit.
I never
And
watched.
he loved that. He loved him as a character in general.
I never watched that show.
I don't know. That was like one of his favorite shows. It was great.
When did that come out? Because was that middle school?
It was
time?
like
I thought that was in high school.
Yeah, it was like early high school or something.
Mm-hmm.
For me, anyway. No, it was late high school. Not early high school.
I would say, that sounds old, because I feel like I was in college when that was out.
Yeah. I'm like, I know I wasn't
I
in
had to remember-
middle school.
Not
with
old,
that.
new.
Yeah.
But
That didn't go far, did it? Nope, water bottle's still right there. Kick it. There you go, hide it real good.
But
They
that
can
was
still
also-
see it. Fuck it. It's gone.
that was also when I started writing seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of dropped interest in my academics. Like, I was a, like, CB student at that time.
Yeah.
And it was just, like, I wasn't paying attention to my progress because I was paying attention to building up my identity, I guess, if that makes sense.
I'm
Because
confused.
at that time, I
What
was,
do you mean by progress?
like, my progress
She
in
wasn't worried about
academics.
her academics
Gotcha.
I wasn't
scores.
worried about that.
Gotcha.
And I wasn't paying attention. Like, I'd handed my schoolwork. And,
Just bare minimum.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Gotcha.
If it was passing, it was good.
And I never showed my grade card or anything.
Even
to my
in
parents
English?
At that time. In English, that actually, I was like A in English and math. I lied.
You're a writing student, but you're failing?
No, it was just like, it was,
Well, I mean, that can happen if you're, like, really focused on, like, what you're doing, and then
Yeah.
you're kind of like, I ain't doing this stupid shit.
because I didn't have to try in that, though. It was a thing. Like, when it was, like, history and science, I actually had to try to memorize stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to bother. And, but I knew, like, I knew a bunch of shit, and I did remember. It was just, like, not enough for the test.
Yeah.
Anyway. But yeah, that was when I started actively seeking out more, like,
Fantasy, books, nerd stories.
yeah, kind of,
Mhm.
because I wanted more ideas and ways to word things, and, like, I don't know, like,
I feel like you would have got, like, really into D&D if someone had introduced it to you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would. I would.
It just sounds like it.
Oh, yeah.
But, it was just, like, it was so, like, I was so focused on my stories and writing my stories that it was, like, at one point I, like, stopped turning in assignments at all.
Mm-hmm.
And that was also around the time where I started getting bullied. So, like, I tried really hard to just, like, throw myself into everything that made me happy.
Mhm.
And it was that one thing at that time, because, I don't know, like, I tried sort of attempting to fit in, but then, like, I would feel really bad about myself.
Mm-hmm.
So then I told her to just fuck off. And it was about that time where...
And she still did that until, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
Like, it was easier for me to...
Just ignore everything.
Yeah.
Bob Dill.
But,
Sorry.
like, I still tried having friends and things like that at the same time, because I would hang out with, like, this group of people.
Okay, we're good. I wanted to see what time
So
it
we're
was.
still watching, like, the nerdy shows, or...
No, I
Anything like
wasn't
that?
into shows, because my mom was very strict about, like, what we were able to watch.
That's devil shit.
It was, yeah, I tried watching Teen Titans. Like, I tried getting into
I
that.
have a cousin that wasn't allowed to watch Harry Potter because she said it was the devil.
My mom liked Harry Potter. We were allowed to watch Harry Potter.
I wasn't.
Gasp. That one's shocking. I was gonna say, people who are like, that's the devil, are, like, definitely against
No,
Harry
she
Potter.
didn't like Raven on Teen Titans because she was a demon.
Season 4 was
Demon.
like her dad was basically Satan in that, and
But he has a sweater vest. Teen Titans,
it
go.
took me a second. I'm wearing the shirt even though I don't. I'm into Teen Titans, but Teen Titans Go, it's its own thing. I don't see it as Teen Titans. It's the comedic version of a base of Teen Titans. It's good in its own way, but it's not Teen Titans. Sorry, continue. Devil shit.
Okay, we could watch Harry Potter. We were allowed to watch like the Iron Man movies that were coming out, and
Oh, because it's Robert Downey Jr.
yeah, and
Obviously.
like
I fell
Captain
asleep
America.
first time
we
I
were
watched
allowed.
that.
The first one?
First Iron Man. I watched him do the explosions, and then he was, like, dead. I'm like... Fucking talking forever, like a little bitch.
Yeah.
Punch someone, damn!
I don't know. It was just like things like that. I almost kind of had to beg to start getting into that though, and then after I started showing my mom like this isn't all terrible,
Mhm.
she kind of left me to like my own devices in a way.
Like what stuff?
Like, just, like, the base Marvel and DC comics.
I had to do that.
The new Batman.
I had to do that.
The new Batman movies and stuff. Like, I had to show her and sit there and, like, set her down and let her watch some of the stuff. Like, I hate the shit that she was, I had to show her, like, I hate the stuff that you're trying to make me watch. Because, like, she wanted me to kind of sort of get into watching, like, sports with her or anything like that. Or, like
what
You are
stuff?
so lucky you're not a dude, because,
or like
man, you had to
romantic
watch Ohio
comedies.
State every Saturday.
Yeah.
Every Sunday they would have, like, a cookout or whatever.
Yep.
When I was younger.
We'd have a cookout Saturday to watch Ohio State, and then we'd have a cookout on Sunday to watch the Cowboys and the Browns.
Yep.
And this is why I stayed at home.
This was at home.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying. I'm like, I just
Yeah.
told him from the
We
get-go. I'm like,
always-
I don't like this.
We were always the hosts for the party.
Oh,
We
yeah.
had
Always
a
the
bigger
host.
yard. We had a bigger yard and a bigger living room than everybody.
Yep.
But,
No.
yeah, like, I guess, like, middle school was just me trying to fight to be able to, like, get into a little bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you wanted to get into this stuff.
I did. Because it was about in middle school time when I started trying to explore new things to see what I did like. Because, like I said, I was trying to, like, find my own identity.
Mhm.
Like, I actively tried to, like, seek that out.
That was like my
That
elementary.
I started realizing that I did like anime. It was more, like, I was attracted to the art style at first. Because I didn't know that anime or manga was, like
Its own
books
thing.
or
Its own culture.
shows. Yeah. I thought it was just an art style when I first got into it.
Yeah.
And then I started looking deeper into it, and then I'd see, like, animations and things like that. I was like, oh, this is cool. People are animating their art. And then it was like, no, this is made into a CD, blah, 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 this and that. And I was like, oh. But then my mom was like, I don't need you looking into all that because you're going to stumble upon something you shouldn't be watching.
Should probably saw
Also
anime
true.
titties.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, okay,
To be fair.
fine. So I just stayed in the art side of it, like, just, and then, like, looked into certain shows or whatever like that, and then I would save, like, some of the art for it, so that I'd remember to go look for it, like, later on when I got older, because I planned on going and rewatching
Yeah.
anything, but,
Naruto.
yeah, and about at the end of that, like, at the end of middle school, I ended up being homeschooled.
What? I didn't know that.
I was homeschooled throughout high school.
Did not know
We
that.
do know that, Bob Dill. So he said there's start books for D&D, and I'm just like, yeah, we
Yeah, we
know
have that.
So I stopped
can
having to
discuss
worry
that later.
about people
Yeah.
judging me and being bullied at school. And I had more free time on my hands because being homeschooled, I would finish my schoolwork 3 hours into the morning.
So it's-
And I had the rest of the day to do whatever I wanted. So story after story after story, and then turned into several series and novels. And I had, like, 12 books written out. And I don't have them anymore because my sister's dog ate my USB.
I mean, that's bad, but it sounds kind of funny.
I had pictures from my childhood and old animals that we had, and pictures of
comes
my
out, you gotta
grandmother and
unplug it.
sisters on that USB,
Remove
and
safely.
they're all gone.
You did not remove safely. We are
Sorry,
sorry.
I think it's funny that you dog ate a USB.
No, it was weird though because it was in a place that he shouldn't have been able to reach. It was like 7 feet up.
Secretly, Des just took it and just threw
We
it
were
at the
all
dog.
out of the house. That was the time. It was the day we saw my grandmother for the last time at the hospital.
Pets go get to
And he
places that you don't
decided-
think they get to, and it's weird.
It's a dog though. He can't climb anything. He's a big dog.
They can jump.
A big dog.
You couldn't even see where it was. It was up on the shelf in Lana's closet.
Probably knocked it down, maybe.
The closet door was closed too,
Oh.
and somehow he got it. I
Dogs
don't
are
know.
crazy. Animals are crazy. Well, I was going to say it's interesting that you both were probably bullied enough in high school to leave a certain way, that you were homeschooled and you went to
I had rumors of
tech
being,
school.
Like, people started rumors about me of being lesbian, being a witch. Like, we were too old to even start
I'm
that
not
shit.
going to lie, I can see that.
Yeah.
Like, we were too old.
Not the
that
lesbian thing, it's the witch.
Everybody should have left that alone, like, at that time. Because the rumor started about me being a witch in 5th grade. And up to the point of 8th grade, like, people were, like, 14 years old. And, like, they were too old to even hold on to that. And it was just, like...
You know, like
Stop.
Wiccan and stuff like that is an actual thing.
Yeah, I do.
Well, so,
But, like,
like
they meant actual, like, witch. Like, I turned into a fucking owl and rode a broom and shit like that. And...
Yeah.
I don't know. And then they, like, people just assumed that I was really into
demon shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was just like, it helped me out because a lot of people were still afraid of me. But it's just like, if anybody, like, it was to that point that I started hating everybody, that if anybody tried, like, hitting on me or anything like that, I'd be throwing my pencil pouch at people.
Then what happens?
I would just whip any of my belongings across the room, and I would never get in trouble because the teachers would get pissed off that, like, it was always the boy that was, like, really
That was me.
loud and always caused a lot of trouble.
I didn't cause trouble. I was loud. No, so when I was in middle school, like, that's when Twilight was coming out.
Oh,
So
yeah.
those types of kids that I'm assuming they called Serena, we called them the vamp kids. Because they're, like, really
Actually,
into,
people did end up throwing me under the bus like that because
As a vamp kid?
I read the books.
Yeah.
I wasn't into the movies.
That's all you had to do. Someone had to see you with Twilight and be like, vamp kid. Instantly.
Yeah.
Like, I would... Other people might be in shock.
I don't
But
know.
I
it
was
just
never
like,
considered, like,
they
emo
were-
or anything like that at all throughout my whole school.
I read
considered
any
emo.
books, fantasy, that I could, like, get my hands on. And it
Mhm.
wasn't necessarily that I liked the story, but some of the aspects of that, like... Because Stephanie Meyer is a good writer.
Mm-hmm.
She's really good because she also wrote The Host. And a lot more people liked that movie.
Is that the alien one?
Yeah.
It's like in your eyeball.
It's not in your eyeball. They put it in the back of your neck.
They symbolize it in the eyeball. In
Yeah.
the movie.
Because you could
That was
see
a good movie.
you can see the aura or whatever in your eye.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
But her book was really good, and I liked the way she wrote. I just didn't realize, because I was so consumed by myself, that I didn't realize the culture around Twilight culture. You know, like,
Sparkly vampires. Ah.
Now, the only
Yeah.
reason I got into, like, any of the Twilight stuff, girls.
Yeah.
Only reason.
I never got
I was
into
like,
it.
I'm
but,
going to use
yeah,
this to pick up girls.
There's
And
a
I
lot of guys that were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked.
I didn't do that. I'm like, I'm not going to sacrifice myself for that.
I first got into Twilight because I was writing I was starting to write, like, a fantasy novel.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, she
And-
stole my idea.
There was a couple ideas, okay? So, but,
Fanfic.
I got a thing about that, actually, and it has to do with nerdiness.
I wanted, because I was trying to do, like, a vamp-like creature,
Mm-hmm.
and they were technically, like, I wrote that they started the lore, the creatures I wrote,
Mm-hmm.
that they were kind of starting the lore of vampires, because I did, like, a flashback. And
So, like,
somebody
first
was like-
vampires ever?
Yeah, like,
That's
how
interesting.
it started out, and that they started,
I mean, no one's ever explained the first vampire. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
well, I read books kind of like
Put him out!
that.
Go!
quickly.
And so I started reading that for ideas on how to write about them, and I was like, she's just making them pretty.
I love sparkly
Because I like,
vampires. My favorite.
have you watched The Priest with Paul?
Dude, the
Bettany?
priest is awesome. Is that the one where he's like got fucking chains and whipping out?
Yes,
That
yes.
one's
Oh my
awesome.
god, I haven't seen anybody else that's seen that movie. Okay, I love
I
the
don't know
vampires in that, like the actual vampires. Okay, because they're like animals. They're not people.
Kind of like,
I'm sorry.
what's it called? It's 28 Days Later.
Because they could make
people
half-
consider their zombies or vampire things.
Yeah.
They're like those. They're like,
And
oh, fuck that.
the ones in I Am Legend.
Yeah, like, because my vampires were animalistic and they were vicious and they were terrible. They weren't somebody that you could, like, tame or anything like that. And, like, what's his name?
Will Smith?
No, he wrote the Skullduggery Pleasant series.
No clue.
No.
He's from Ireland.
No.
I forget his name.
Potato.
Derek Landy.
Potato.
Derek Landy. He wrote them like they were humans in the daylight. They could still access some of their powers,
So
but
like werewolves.
kind of like werewolves. But at night, they would literally like peel their skin off. Like
So
their hair would
Batman.
come off and everything. Like
When does Batman peel his skin off? Anyways, that's interesting.
There's a never mind. Well, that's a whole nother
like
thing.
they would peel their skin off and then they would be animals. Not like werewolves, but they would be fleshy.
Their humanity would leave them, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. It was, but they would peel like a layer of skin off, and then they would have like these really sharp teeth, like that, like overlapped that way,
Mhm.
and then like these really nasty looking clawed hands, and he described it really well. But it was just like that's the kind of vampire I wanted to write, and then like I said, that's the only reason I read that book. That was a really long explanation.
It's
A little bit.
I don't know, but
Something okay, really want before I forget it. There was one thing that really pissed me off when I was a kid because in like elementary and middle school time I had these G.I. Joe figures. I was really into Star Wars, right? And there was this black little thing that you could put on their arms and you could put two things in there. And it wasn't designed for this, but Austin and I were like, well, why don't we put lightsabers in there? And it was like a dual little lightsaber thing, right? Literally, I'm like, Austin's like, dude, you need to tell, like, we were kids, right? He's like, dude, you need to tell him, because we could make, like, a lot of money off this. And I'm like, dude, I should. 5 years later, probably tops, they designed one of those things, Silver Gauntlet. It was for that guy that looked like his head was a brain, you know, in Star Wars. I can't, yeah, that Jedi guy, I don't remember his name right now. But,
Oh, Kidamundi?
not the one with the tall, pointy head. The one that literally his head looked like a brain.
Oh, like,
I don't remember his name.
I don't know his name, but he was in the 3D one.
Yes. They ended up, and that's where they made it. That's where they made it for him. Was a steel little thing, had a symbol thing on it, and it was 2 lightsabers. I'm just like, duh! I could have made money. Anyways, but yeah, that was just my rant. I was mad. I told Austin about that, and Austin was mind blown, and we were laughing about it because it was just like, gosh damn it, we called it. It was like we knew or something. But anyways, yeah. So back to sparkly vampires and sharp teeth. What? Yeah, I already commented about that a while ago.
Oh.
You weren't paying attention.
didn't.
Ooh.
Anyways,
Daniel was paying attention. He commented.
any more to add how you were, I guess, in high school?
High school, okay. I guess
He
I
wants to
started
get to college. He's
at
excited.
17. I started.
I'm just trying to keep on track.
I
was gonna say we're almost in.
I kind of backed away from writing a little bit so that I could get more into my art.
Yeah.
And that was when I started looking at the anime style again, because I started drawing like manga scenes and imitating whatever books I had.
Right.
And then that's when I got into Ruby.
Because the red trailer.
Me and my sister a few years before that,
You're checking yourself out in the camera.
Yeah, there's like this thing, I don't know if it's skin or not, or design on the head.
Me and my sister a few years before that had gotten into Avatar. And I know that's not really considered an anime or manga.
No,
or anything
Enough
like
people
that.
consider it an anime.
Yeah.
But it's just the art style was an imitation of it.
Mhm.
And I got Lana into that. And which is why I also was able to get her into Ruby. Like, she likes the storylines of things like that. Or, like I could get her to watch anime as long as it's not, like, Dragon Ball Z. She probably wouldn't watch Naruto.
No. What about Durarara?
She would probably actually like that,
Yeah.
to be completely honest.
I just like the feeling it gives me when I watch that one. But...
Oh. Tell me about Natsumusumi.
Oh, no. I mean, like, the feeling
about
of, like,
friendship.
being free and being able to,
There's
like...
free things there.
Oh, yeah, there's very free things there. Free the titties.
And that's also about the time that I started getting into video games more. Me and Lana started playing more Call of Duty, and then we got into Halo, and...
Oh, Halo was my shit back then.
Alana loves driving games. Like, she likes Need for Speed, and...
The Crew.
Also my shit.
Yeah, she likes The Crew.
And, what was that other one?
GTA 5.
No.
She doesn't like the driving in that.
The driving's really good
I
in
love
that.
the driving in that. I can do so many stupid things in that. It's amazing.
I don't like when the driving's too hard.
Yeah.
There's another game that she got
Oh
into.
gosh, shifts gears.
Fuck
I forget
that.
what it's
I have to do
called.
that in real life.
I don't know. The game broke, so every time you're in that game that she plays, you're stuck in an area, and
Is that LA one? I can't remember the name of it.
I don't know. Like,
That's what I'm
the
trying to
map
think.
is so much bigger, but
Yeah.
if you drive so far, like the game would glitch on her,
Mhm.
and then she'd drive into the floor. So she could only drive to a certain extent, and then when she knew she broke the game, the music in the car would stop. And she goes, "Fuck, I can't leave this area anymore." It's like, no.
Should have saved.
Eh.
There's one time I got my Piplup doing Polion, and then, game crashed, and I didn't save.
Here's
was
how much.
7
Here's how
hours.
much of a nerd I wasn't. I've never beaten a game of Pokemon.
Really?
I played all the time. I'd play for like 3 months,
Uh-huh.
like constantly.
And you didn't get to the Elite 5?
By 3 months, I meant 3 weeks. I played
Oh,
for 3
okay.
weeks, and then I'd be like,
I was like, 3 months
I'd
is
be like,
a
all
long
right,
time.
something else to do now. And I'd be like, oh, sounds fun playing Pokemon. What the fuck is going on? Delete, new character.
Oh my gosh.
I've done that at least 100 times.
You didn't trade your Pokemon off?
What are you talking about? Like kill them off?
No, no. You can trade them like to your next game.
Not on Game Boy Advance. The only Pokemon game I ever
You can
owned
trade them. You just need that
was
cord.
Leaf Green, and I had Leaf Green on my DS, so it didn't work. But yeah, never beat a game of Pokemon. That's why I was just like, it's fun. Besides, I'm like,
That's why I don't really replay them now because it's like it's just the same
Pokemon was
story.
a great toilet game.
That's fair.
You bring your toilet. Bring your toilet.
Bring your toilet with the
bring your
Pokemon.
toilet in your DS room, and then you play it.
You just drown your Pokemons in the toilet.
You screw it, take it out of the piping, and leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Mash them all up.
I've gotten a lot of red marks on my legs from doing this.
You ever have your legs fall asleep?
No,
You never had your legs fall asleep? while
I'm not
sitting on
that
the toilet?
crazy.
Because I'll get busy doing something. So okay, like Duel Links for Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh, it's a phone game, right? I'll go to the bathroom. I'll start playing it, and I forget how long I'm playing because some duels can go a long time. Some duels last like a minute because you beat them in like 2 turns. Well, some of them like you have to do a lot of things just to be able to get certain cards and things. I sit there for so long. Sometimes my leg will fall asleep, and then I try to get up and I almost fall over on the floor.
That's extreme, nerd.
Yeah, I like Yu-Gi-Oh. Anyways, college time. All right, we're good. Good.
Needless to say, in high school, middle school, I would have hated you both.
Yeah.
Oh, I would definitely say I was a bully.
The type of person that you guys were, I would have hated you.
I
both.
took care of
I would have made
everybody
fun
in
out
high
of you.
school in 4 county times. I
I
was
don't
like
know.
the mom.
I didn't like people who knew everybody or that liked everybody or anything like that because it just seemed like they were trying too hard. I'm just like.
No, I just like everybody being happy.
I don't know, at that, especially in high school, if you were too uppity, I hated you. I hated you so much.
I just had a lot of high energy and aggressive, which is how I am kind of now. But I transferred in good places.
But then, somebody
Most of
who's
the time.
always chasing after girls, too. I would have
I wasn't that noticeable, but yeah.
He just had 2 girlfriends.
But just
Look, alright.
I don't know. And especially, okay.
Look, I don't have a good reason, but
It's going to sound really bad, but
God.
any Mexican boy in school,
Oh, I hated Mexican girls too.
I would actively avoid them.
No, I know. I was the same way. Mexican girls scared the shit out of me. Except my best friend.
Why?
Except my best friend because she's a girl. Because you start to remember your parent, like your mom and your aunts and stuff like that. And they're real mean.
You would see your family in them.
And then they're real mean. Also, there is a good chance that they are your family, so you just kind of didn't fuck with that.
Yeah. That too.
I mean, I have a best friend. She's Mexican. We've been best friends since preschool. That's the reason why I don't mind her.
that actually happened to one of my friends. He was crushing on this one girl for a long. I won't name any names, but he was crushing on this one girl for a long time. Found out that she was his cousin. Then he was just like, "Oh no."
Yeah. This is the reason why I avoid it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Always want to keep
I
checking.
would say though, I wasn't really bullied in high school. I would not say I'm a full bully though.
He
Because I
says
was like
as he
part-
smiles.
I was like part-time.
Part-time.
Part-time. I wasn't nice. I had no problem making fun of people. I have made people cry a lot of times.
That's horrible.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's like, I know that now, but
Look,
during the time.
The whole point of this topic was, I guess, mostly to see the different areas people can come with to kind of
See where everybody comes from, backgrounds.
get together and just what the nerd culture is. It's more than just what it used to be, kind of what you are, except worse.
Like, what do you mean?
Because it was back in the day where it was there's probably some fat kid with pimples all over his face who's playing D&D with his friends in his mom's basement. That's what people think of when they think of nerd. It's it's starting to change a lot now though.
Oh yeah, because now it's, I don't know, everybody's like,
Because
oh,
when I
I
was in
caught
high-
this Pikachu.
When I was in high school,
guys."
that's what it was. That's what the idea still was when I was in high school. It
There
was
was-
still
There was in
Man, what are you
Applebee's.
talking
I mean, it's gotten to the point in Applebee's where somebody says, "Oh, in Pokemon Go, there's this Pokemon." Everybody pulls out their phone and it starts doing it. It's just that's crazy to me because back when we were younger, it was Pokemon. If you like Pokemon, dude, you got to get the fuck out of here.
Mhm.
You're such a
you got
fucking
leprosy if you like that stuff. Basically, that's what it was.
Yeah. And now it's just everybody's so cool, and I definitely think the Marvel movies, the DC movies, things like that changed everyone's view.
So here we can start with that. Then I'll start with that in my college. I didn't even know Marvel really was a thing probably until I watched Captain America.
You didn't even know Spider-Man?
I knew about Spider-Man, but he's just, there's Spider-Man. Which basically was like, if you ask any, like, back in the day, like, if you ask anyone's parents or whatever, it's like, you know who Superman and Batman are? It's like, yeah, Superman and Batman. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't say, like, yeah, they're in the... If you tell them, are they in DC or Marvel, they'd be like, they're in movies. That's all it's going to be.
Yeah.
That's all my idea of Spider-Man was, like, Spider-Man's in a movie. What about it? I had a little book when I was a little kid. That was it.
Then there's like the series in like the 80s or 90s.
Yeah.
I think it
It
was
like, it
90s.
was the TV shows and movies. It was like, comic books was a very nerd thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were just fine with the movies and TV. So, yeah, I didn't even know Marvel really was a thing till Captain America. I didn't even get into it till then. I didn't even get into Harry Potter until probably I started dating Kennedy, so, like, not even, like, till, like, 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Harry Potter's weird. Lord of the Rings, 6 years ago, maybe.
My father and I watched that series. We
I watched
all of
it
them.
once. I was like, what is this weird thing? It's kind of cool. But I probably didn't start watching it until college. I didn't watch all 3 movies until I was in college.
Yeah. I need to rewatch them is what I need to do.
I already did that. I already watched all 3 Hobbits and Lord of the Rings movies this year.
Oh, gosh. I still haven't finished all the Hobbits.
But
I haven't either.
it was very, like, I say about till maybe halfway through my first year of college.
Hmm.
My friend Nick, which, I mean, I know you both know Nick, but
Yeah.
Nick introduced me to first Skyrim. I said that was the first RPG I ever played.
But now you hate it because ESO.
He first introduced me to Skyrim. Was like, I was over at his house and like, what is that game you're playing? It looks kind of fun. And then, he showed me it. I was like, I remember I saw something about this because I wouldn't watch E3 stuff, but like, I'd look at it. The only reason I watched it is to see what the new Call of Duty was.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And it was like, there's this game where you got like a staff and a sword and there's a fucking mammoth. I'm like, that's cool. Where's Call of Duty at? Anyways, so he showed me that. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that game because it came out in 2011. And this is 2013 by now.
Yeah.
So, 4 years later, I discovered Skyrim. Still had a PS3. PS4 wasn't out, I don't think. No, it wasn't.
No.
So, I get Skyrim, play Skyrim. And then he's like, alright, so since you like Skyrim and video games and stuff, RPGs, I'm like, yeah. He's like, you gotta watch this sword art. I was like, no.
Oh, no.
I said, no. I don't. He showed me the first episode, I'm like, no. And he's like, alright, what about this one? Shows me Dead Man. No.
Really?
Dead Man's really weird if that's your first time seeing anime.
Yeah. That's all. Yeah. That's very
I
fair.
don't know what other ones you tried showing me. It was like, this is, no. It's cartoons.
And then.
Yeah, me and Nick hung out a lot because we're best friends. I was like, fine, I will watch this show if we can go do this or whatever. It was like, that was our thing. It was like, we made deals.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. Which sounds bad for friendship, but it was fun. Sounds like, if you do this, I'll do that. Anyways, so we watched it. I was like, alright, it's getting interesting. I finished the whole, like, first arc of the first season. And
Wait, for which one?
Sword Art.
Oh, goodness.
And we watched the second one, and it was like, I was like, alright, that was pretty good. And then I was like, what else is there to that? I didn't even know it was called anime by that point. Or maybe he said I wasn't paying attention. And he shows me Bleach or something. I was like, eh. Then he shows me, I think it was called Sekiro. I don't know if you know that one.
I never watched it. I know what it is, though.
I was like, alright, I like this one. He's like, you like this one because boobs in it? It's funny? I'm like, yeah. So I went on a span of watching those for like a year.
Yeah.
And that's all I watched would be harems.
Oh, goodness.
Because it was like, other animes, it was like dumb.
Monster Musume.
That wasn't out yet.
Oh, okay.
But I was like,
I don't know.
I was like, all these other animes are dumb. A lot of Rosario. Rosario was a good one.
Rosario Vampire, yep. That one was good.
And then, I think at that point they started hitting on, like, the Elder Scrolls Online's coming out. I was like, what is this? And it was only on PC that back then.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't.
I remember that. Cameron got that when
I had my
first came out.
laptop and I was like, eh. It's like, you gotta pay a subscription. I'm like, not worth it.
Yeah.
I think I had a PS4 by this point. Doesn't matter. Anyways, the whole point is on ESO comes out. No, I didn't have a PS4 because they're like, we're announcing on console. You don't need a subscription anymore. I was like, okay, now I need to get a PS4. So I bought myself a PS4 with a credit card.
Sheesh.
GameStop had a good deal of like spend over $500, no interest for 6 months. which meant paying $80 a month, which meant nothing to me because I've been working since I was in high school.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's nothing. So get that, buy ESO. Turns out I really liked it. Play a lot of it, spend a lot of money in it.
$2,000.
$2,000. Because of ESO, that's what got me into even watching Twitch, which I don't know how.
I was gonna say, you guys got me into Twitch and Discord.
I don't know what that was. It might have been something like an announcement. They're like, watch it on Twitch. I was like, okay, see what Twitch is. It's like, oh, this is kind of cool. Oh, there's other people streaming. And that's why we really got into streamers. At a point, I watched a GTA 5 stream of this girl. And I was watching her. And I kind of made friends with her. And I was working as a janitor, I believe, at this point. The only reason that matters is because I was able to watch her streams late at night and keep it in my pocket and listen to my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I got into, like, listening to streams a lot. Because I tell you all the time in your streams, I'm sure people read it, it's like, I'm not actually watching your stream. I'm
just listening while
I'm just
working.
listening to you, and I'm doing dishes or playing games. I'm like, you're background noise.
Yeah.
Sounds mean, but that's what I really use streams for, is background noise.
Mm-hmm.
Because I need two things going on at once. And that's what I was doing while I was working.
So you would hate like those silent rooms then.
What do you mean?
I don't know, like the ones that have the severe soundproofing on them, and they like seal people in sometimes to see how long they can last.
Like
I don't
so much
know.
so that your heartbeat is like pounding in the ground.
Oh, I'd beat the shit out of the walls. You'd be surprised.
Jeez.
I'd freak out. If you want to go back to being a kid, I didn't grow up in a quiet household.
Right.
It was a very loud household. When my mom talks on the phone, you can hear her like just talking like this, and she's talking normal.
Mm-hmm.
She's not yelling, she's just talking. Anyways, so that's how I learned Twitch. I was like, I'm watching streamers now. Became a mod. I became really good friends with her. Ended up being, every time I got off of work, I'd go and we'd play GTA every night. I became part of her stream. I'd help stream with her. I'd moderate for her. After her streams, we'd be on for like another hour and a half or something, testing new races. Because she'd do a lot of like trick races and
The
stuff.
custom ones and stuff.
Before they even had all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like you had to make your own like wall rides and stuff.
Yeah. Those
Which
are a
was
pain.
fun.
They're fun, but they're a pain.
They were really hard, but we were really good at them because that's all we would do.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's all I would do for a while, was just do that and then play ESO forever.
Yeah.
And then watch Twitch. And then I think I started watching anime a little more. Still didn't tell people though. That was the thing. I still never told people. It was like, I play a lot of video games. I watch Twitch.
Honestly, seemed like you're hesitant to even tell me when we first met.
Watch anime. Yeah, that was the thing. I was like, I never felt the need to tell anyone, and I still thought of it as I thought of it in high school, middle school. It was like, this doesn't exist. Nobody does this. Why would I tell anyone I do this?
And then you found out there's a huge community.
And then off of streaming, I found another streamer who streams ESO.
Mm-hmm.
And then I discovered, this isn't a timeline or anything, but I discovered Red vs. Blue, I think, on Netflix. And the reason I watched that is because I needed something to fall asleep to, because I like having a TV on when I fall asleep. And I've watched so many different movies. Like, I could watch a movie, like, for a month.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the same movie over and over at night.
Mm.
And I ran out of movies. I was like, I watched them on Netflix, I guess. I was like, there's a show called Red vs. Blue. And the thing I hate about Netflix is, you know, when you watch 4 episodes, it's like, are you still watching?
Mm-hmm.
Red vs. Blue, if anyone doesn't know, their episodes are a whole season,
movie.
and it's about 2 hours of something.
Yep.
So I gotta watch 8 hours of something.
Yep.
No, that's not wrong. Yeah, it is. That's right. So I gotta like potentially watch 8 hours of something in case I didn't fall asleep, or I fall asleep and wake up. That's the only reason why I watched them. And because they weren't loud, there wasn't a lot of stuff going on. There's just them talking.
Just later seasons it gets loud.
It still wasn't that loud.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I used to go to sleep watching Hurt Locker and Black Hawk Down.
Never mind.
I'm used to like.
Yeah.
I was like, no, doesn't bother me. Helps me go to sleep.
Right.
And I started actually watching them. I tried watching Ruby at one point. It was like, oh, this looks like a cool anime. I was like, this is dumb.
Gets tattoo.
Yeah, it has the crescent
I have
tattoo.
a tattoo
now.
now.
Crescent rose.
I was like, this is dumb. It looks like shit. This isn't anime. It's 3D. What is this?
Season 2.
And then I started watching it because I found out, oh, this is the same people who made Red vs. Blue. All right, I will actually give it a legit chance.
Mm-hmm.
Watched it again.
Goes to season premiere.
Watched it again. Watched it again.
Ring.
I gotta go to work.
Ooh. Run. Any final words for the podcast?
Ah,
Beautiful.
great new word. But it was like,
Actually, what are we at for time to?
no clue.
Let me check real quick.
My phone's dead.
Yeah, we're at 150, so it's actually we can start closing up. But
Oh, okay. Yeah, then I finally got into Ruby. And somehow started to discover, like, I kind of started making my Twitter, like, my main source of, like, absorbing all this stuff, of, like, anime and video games and stuff. Because I didn't have a lot of followers or, like, anyone that I really knew. I was like, eh.
Mm.
That was the only reason why I used it. And I was like, I think this is something I finally have to, like, I think I can be okay with, like, kind of being a part of me.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have, anime shirts and stuff. I have tattoos, obviously, now.
What?
I know, tattoos.
And plays Overwatch religiously now too.
I haven't played in a while.
Oh.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, because Monster Hunter is taking over.
No, I moved back to ESO.
Did you again?
Mhm.
Oh, because Jester's Festival.
No. I just did it again.
And with my college stuff, it's still been pretty much the same too.
I was just going to summarize that my college, I guess, was my more of, like, getting into the, like, nerd community and accepting all of it and kind of, like, it hit me, like,
really late.
like a ton of bricks. Not
Yeah.
not more of the sense of really late, but it's just, like, all at once it hit me.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't like, yeah, I grew up
It
with
was
this stuff.
very slow progression.
It's very, like, I don't have any childhood memories. I don't have any nostalgia for anything
Mm-hmm.
because it's still very all recent.
And we talk about it all the time.
Yeah. I don't watch anything besides anime, let's play stuff, and play video games.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything else I'm like, it's kind of boring.
It's whatever you do with it too.
Mhm.
I don't know, my college stuff, it's pretty much the same. Still watch anime. I gotten out of a lot of anime. Like, I don't watch it near as much as I used to. I've gotten into,
now.
yeah, takes up a lot of time and edit videos and all that.
Quit streaming to watch anime.
Yeah, I could do that. I started watching Tiger and Bunny. I started watching that last night with Cameron. That's actually really good. I think that one, Stanley has a big portion in too. Like, he started helping out with that a lot. Because I remember when they first announced the manga of that, it was in a Shonen Jump magazine, and that was forever ago. But I started watching that, and that's really good. Yeah, I don't have a charger in here. That's out there right now. Get it. Hey, Serena!
No, don't worry about it.
Can you grab the charger for the iPhone? Mine?
iPhone mine. Favorite.
Yeah, iPhone mine. But yeah, it's pretty much the same. Just a lot less because streaming stuff, and here we are.
So you stayed the same as, like, high school?
Relatively, except I watched a lot more anime in high school. I watched a lot of series and, I don't know, played a lot of games because I got introduced into, like, RPGs and, like, Skyrim and stuff like that. Like, I got introduced really late into it. So I've been, because in middle school and, like, beginning of high school, it was, like, Call of Duty all the time and shooters. And now it's, like, oh, there's RPGs and stuff, and now I'm obsessed with Final
That was kind
Fantasy.
of the cultures, though, back then.
Yeah.
Was very, like, shooters and very, like, loud and fast.
And don't play anything longer than, like, 30 minutes type of deal. Yeah.
Well, a match, yeah, because, I mean, I stayed on that stuff for, like, 4 hours.
Well, yeah, same.
A night.
We generally did zombies, though, is what we did, and that can last forever.
No, we played Hardcore Search and Destroy.
I didn't like that then. I play Rainbow now, which is amazing, but
Same
I didn't
thing.
like that then. Yeah. Relatively, except you can blow up everything. But, yeah. Pretty much the same. Stream now. Takes up a lot of time. Try to keep in touch with everybody, because, yeah, lots of people. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. I've always been a nerd. Punisher hat, Robin shirt, literally, Naruto manga over there.
I'm so hesitant about my stuff, though. Like, I'm wearing a Diablo shirt right now. You can't tell, though.
You
That's
should
the
show
thing.
it. You should have showed it off.
No. I have it tucked in. Because I'm like... I have it tucked in for a reason.
Okay.
Anyways. It's, I guess the point of this podcast was to, like, kind of show that there are, like, different types of people getting into like the nerd culture, and it's not like
It's not
one.
a bad
It's
thing.
not one single type of person anymore.
Yeah.
Well, because I read this article and it was talking about. It was an art. Well, first I saw a tweet, and it was saying Netflix brought anime to the mainstream. And then
I don't know if I could
no.
agree with that.
Because then I started, because it was like a Twitter thing,
Yeah.
and like like trending thing or whatever, and so I went through all the tweets through it, and tons of people were saying like, nope, it was Toonami.
Yeah.
People were like,
thank you.
They were like, Toonami's what brought it like to my childhood, blah 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 blah. They're like, it was not this, it wasn't Netflix.
Yeah,
And then
definitely.
I don't know. I just thought it was interesting, like, especially like you said, all the Marvel movies, like almost everyone watches them now. Everyone loves Harry Potter,
Mm-hmm.
but there's different levels of how much people like them.
Oh yeah, by far. Like some people still think, like, I don't know, when I do my Red Hood cosplay, some people still think, oh, it's Deadpool, a different variation of Deadpool, or it's Red Skull, or things like that, and it's just like,
That looks like a Red Skull mask.
just no.
It's the same sheen. It's the same
I-
color of red.
I know.
That was your fault.
I don't know, but just things like that. It's like, yeah, there's definitely different levels, because you get some people who are like, oh, Bat Family and Red Hood and Nightwing and all that, and then other ones that think they're Marvel characters or think they're DC characters when they're actually something else, or maybe they're an anime person and somebody's like, oh, is that from Marvel? And you're like, no.
Well, that's the thing too. Is like, there's one thing I will say. I never liked about the nerd culture
Mm-hmm.
is people are very elitist about it, and they're very like, oh, if you didn't start from the beginning, you're fake, or you don't, or like, yo, you only like this one but not this one, you're fake.
I hate when people do that.
It's a very like there's still like there's a lot of people still trying to be like, we're our own thing,
Mm-hmm.
which does not make sense to me. Like, I
think-
understand it, like, yeah, you want to feel special.
Yeah, I
But
think the
I'm-
reason they do it is because of like how they were in elementary, middle school, and they were shunned and everything. So they're like, fine, then I'm gonna have my own group, and I think that's
Well,
why
because they
do
think
it.
like, oh, I had to take my lumps, so you got to do yours. It's like, no,
Yeah,
like, you should be proud that you were able to bring this,
to fruition.
yeah, more open. And I don't know about you, but I'm loving that like this stuff's becoming more popular now.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you went to Hot Topic back in the day, it was all bands and stuff.
So
Which I love.
emo.
But now it's like tons of like anime stuff.
Just Supernatural, Pokemon.
It's all this different stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
the more this stuff gets in the mainstream, the more it's gonna last and exist. Because whether people like to think of it or not, a lot of this stuff, all this stuff is business, and all this stuff they need to make money. So if they're making money, then people like me and you can go buy the $200 statues. Well, these people are buying their $30 T-shirts
Mm-hmm.
because they know those people still exist. The hardcore fans exist, and they're gonna want to buy all the expensive stuff.
Oh, definitely.
But they got to make money off this little shit too,
yeah,
because that's where most of their money comes from.
I just don't buy this stuff anymore because I don't know. It's like I already have my stuff as it is, and I don't have the money to do all that. So I'm like, they're cool. They're really cool, and they come out with some really cool new ones of them. But
Like, if you think about it, back, Teen Titans was canceled, and I read an article about this. Teen Titans was canceled because they weren't selling enough toys.
mm-hmm.
Because they realized not a lot of boys were watching this. Though a lot of cartoon companies, their thought is,
I got the toys.
if boys aren't watching this, boys aren't buying toys, and if boys aren't buying toys, we're not making money, because they make all their money off of merchandise and toys.
Mm-hmm. They're thinking about continuing it, by the way.
Which is oddly different, because that's just American thing. It's oddly different from Japan, where they understand a lot of their, influences on female audiences.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that are writing the fanfic. They're the ones buying the body pillow. You might not think of it. They're the ones buying all the body pillows all the time.
I mean, heck, like Jessica Negri and stuff, getting like a lot of the
Mhm.
type of stuff like that type of culture side of it is. It's like, I don't know, body pillows, the
They're buying all this stuff.
lewd
They're buying
stuff. Yeah.
It's like they're the one that's making all the money. Japan understood that, and they're like, we're going that route. Like, sure, the shows might seem like they're going towards more boys, but our merchandise is like everywhere.
Right.
So it's a very like, oh shoot, what were we talking about on the phone earlier? Oh, you were talking. I think you were trashing on Call of Duty or something. I think. How's
yeah.
it's the same thing.
Because, gosh.
So that's something we don't understand. I got a guy I work with. All he does is play Call of Duty and Madden.
Mm-hmm.
He has an Xbox One purely for that. Call of Duty, Madden. not Battlegrounds. But the only reason, and he told me he's like, I checked one day on how much I spent through the year on Madden on just the cards. It's like I spent $1,500.
Oh my gosh.
But that's because all he plays.
That's because he's a hardcore fan, though, and it makes sense.
I mean, kinda. But it's like he plays Call of Duty because like that's the exciting part of life. As far as I know, all he does is he works and plays his games and goes back to work.
Right.
Sometimes hang out with people. Like that's all he does.
Mm.
And then I was telling you about my uncles. You know, they both have 2 kids, both work in factories, and they only get so many limited time.
Mm-hmm.
So would you rather spend that limited time of an hour or 2 hours you have? Let's say you have 2 hours, watching a movie. You know, you can watch whatever exciting movie you think it is, or you can play a game
I don't know.
with
It's
explosions and stuff.
For me, it's because I probably do that all the time that I don't like view it like that anymore at all, because it's like when I stream, that's what I do, you know, and that's why I said I want to get away from it a little bit more, because it's like all the time now, constant. So it's like I would prefer to watch the movie when I got the free time and stuff like that. But for somebody that doesn't do it, I understand, because that's how I used to be. But now it's like I played it so much it got boring to me, because I like story with my stuff. But for him, he might not like story. He just likes quick action, because during his normal life, it's not near as filled
Well,
like that.
if you think of how it is, how time is, you know, time is money. Your amount of time is worth whatever amount of money you're working.
Mm-hmm.
He can make more by getting this much more excitement in this little chunk of time than having to walk from point A, from the starting town to the next town, and like getting halfway through the quest.
Mm-hmm.
That's a waste of time.
Yeah.
To me, that's a waste of time. Every time I get a single
You
player,
got 20 caves along the way that you could loot. And
yeah, it's like people want to get the full experience. Sometimes the full experience is just explosions.
Yeah.
Which is enough. So like, every time I buy a single player game, and I hate single player games, it sounds bad, but
Yeah, no.
I don't have time
It's
for it.
understandable. Some people don't like them at all. I like them, but
reason I don't like them is like, is this gonna be worth my money?
Yeah.
When I bought Battlefront, I was really debating on getting it
Can you hand me one of my waters?
Yeah.
Or is it just one?
it's just the one.
for the campaign. I was like, is this gonna be worth $60? I mean, working 6 hours,
Love you too.
and how much gameplay can I get out of it? See ya. It's like, is that gonna be worth my time?
Yeah.
I found out it takes maybe 8 hours to beat. I was like, that was worth my time then.
Just want to check.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, that does make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And I don't know, for mine, it's always like I've had the extra time, even if I am working like 2 jobs doing college and stuff. I always try to find time, even if I lose sleep and stuff like that. Even for like single players and stuff, I'll still like spend the time going crazy on it, either whether it's Skyrim or Final Fantasy or something like that. I'll find the time because I want to do it. But that's just me. For other people, they don't always like doing that because they want the quick pace experience that it's done and done. For me, it's like those types of games, it's like they start getting me frustrated and stuff, and I don't like that. Even if I'm doing good, it still makes me frustrated because I'm like, well, my team could have done better on this or blah blah, and it's just like, or even if I'm doing horrible, then it's like, oh gosh, why am I not doing near as good as I should be? So it's like I don't like doing those near as much as like single player ones where I feel like I'm actually, you know, having some difference being made, or like ESO where it's like quest based where you can like start leveling up and take a lot of hits and support your team and stuff. But it's like Call of Duty, it just, or even like I don't know, some of the other
ESO
ones like
is very
Fortnite.
in between, at least
Yeah.
once you reach the end game, because it's not like I'm running around doing quests all the time. You can still do quests and stuff, but it's very like, the dungeons are very fast paced. I've beat a dungeon in 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Not
you
even,
can beat them very quickly.
I've beat them in 15 because they got speed runs of them.
Mm-hmm.
I've beat those before. It's like, I
Right.
still get the very high paced action I get.
Yeah.
That's why I do DPS. So like, I have a very high risk of dying,
Mm-hmm.
which sounds weird, but it's like, I can do the most potential damage, you know, and I sacrifice it by being like, I'm being very risky though, of like, I get one shot at a lot.
Yeah.
It turned into very like, I'm still getting that quick pace I need. But if I ever want to slow down, it's like, all right, today I'm going to do my crafting writs. I'm going to go farm. I spent 2 hours one time just killing NPCs, robbing them. I got a farming spot. Doing that so I can make, you know,
A lot of money. really quick.
35,000 gold.
Yeah.
It's a very, like, you can play that game however you want. That's why I go back to it so much.
Just empty out your whole bag. Just keep going looting people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did that for a while, but yeah. So
Yeah. Hopefully people like these, like, not as crazy podcast a bit.
yeah, where we're not hectic and unplanned.
I'm not saying, like, we're going to, like, you should do this every time, but
Oh no, because they're still fun. You gotta have a little bit of everything, a little variation.
I think every once in a while it's kind of good to just kind of take a break. Maybe next
agree.
time we get more people putting in stories or something, or they can put them in for the next podcast, and we can.
Well, we actually had like 7 people at once for a while there,
Yeah.
and they just didn't say anything. I think they just wanted listening. We probably should have specified that people could chat with us and tell us their stuff too.
Well, see, like, these are the types of podcasts I like to listen to, where it's very, like, again, I love podcasts or anything for background.
Mm-hmm.
I will listen to a podcast while I'm driving. I watched a stream while I was driving. Don't do that.
Yeah, I didn't won't do that.
I was chatting. But yeah, it's very, like, I took this phrase from Game Attack because Bolin says it, but it's very it's a laundry podcast or something like that, where something like you're doing laundry,
Mm-hmm.
and this is what you're listening to main time. You'll sit there watching, and when it's time to fold clothes, you can still sit there and listen to it, and
Yeah,
everything's fine.
that's fair. Yeah, we can do a lot more of those. I think that'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
Just need more serious topics. But all right, got any final words for it? You want to close out?
I mean, if anyone has, like, a different perspective of, like, how they got into their nerd stuff, or even just hear,
We
they
want to
can
hear it.
they can tell us. Yeah, I mean, we want to, but you don't have to.
Nope, gotta tell us. Mandatory.
I
This
think
channel.
we did a good job of, like, giving 3 different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
Your 2s were a lot more similar than mine, but it was still different.
Yeah, hers was more on like the intellectual side of it. Mine was just the nerd culture, and then yours was like slowly paced
Well,
into it.
like
'cause-
Serena said, hers was in the middle, so hers was kind of like, yeah, I kind of was into it a little bit, and then got more into it later. Yours
Mhm.
was, like, into it all the time. I was like, I was never into any of this.
Yeah, because my father's a nerd. My mother got heavily into it back when I was like getting into middle school area or elementary. Because I mean, we'd go to midnight showings of like Avengers and stuff. So, anyways,
Yeah.
discussions for another time. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate that you do, or even listening, I guess, because like what Daniel said is it's not always watching it; it's just sometimes listening to it. But yeah, if you guys did have any stories for us or any questions like that, just post them below or right now if you guys are still in there. Yeah, or later. Gosh, the ASMR. Probably broke the mic.
No.
Not really. But yeah, if you guys have any questions for us, or if you liked it, if you disliked it, anything like that, let us know why you liked it or disliked it down below. Or even in the chat if you're rewatching on
Or in the
Twitch
Discord.
later. Yeah, or on the Discord that you could join. We have all the links on YouTube. In the top right, it's on my banner thing. On Twitch, it's down below. Twitter, Discord, YouTube, Twitch, all that stuff is linked. I don't think anything else, like my Instagram and stuff like that, is on there if you guys want to check that out. But aside from that, that's about it.
Private Snapchat.
Oh,
at
private Snapchat.
Look at nudes. Nudes.
But aside from that, that's about it for us. If you guys enjoyed, I hope you did.
Yeah, just let us know what you think.
Yep. You can follow, sub if you'd like to. If you want to sub on Twitch or donate, that is cool too. Don't do it though if you have no money. And just
Yeah, you
expect
can't get money if they don't have any.
Yeah. Well, some people do it when they have like barely anything left. I'm like, no, stop, please. You
It's
don't
their
need
money.
to do
They're
that.
allowed to spend it however they just so decide to.
That's true, but I don't know. I appreciate it either way
Yep.
because this month has been it's been very generous to say the least.
He can
It's
eat now.
Yeah, eats my apple very viciously.
He gets to dye his hair again.
I don't want to dye my hair ever again. It was good the first time and it was a good one-time experience, but yeah. Aside from that, just thank you guys for the support. Expect some more of these. Probably on Fridays. There'll still be 301
No.
Thursdays because I like the name. No, not on Fridays.
Just whenever I have a day off. I'm supposed to have Tuesdays off.
Okay, so maybe Tuesdays. Maybe that's what we'll do.
301 Tuesdays makes more sense.
Tuesdays. Haha. All right, we'll go with that though.
30 Tuesdays.
Besides that, expect to stream later tonight.
Or don't.
Or don't.
I don't know. Lower your expectations.
No, I always
They'll make
keep
you
my
feel better.
expectations high. But yeah. So
The weed.
what?
What?
I don't do drugs at all.
You said you're high.
High on life. I don't do weed or I don't even drink.
Life's a code name for heroin.
Oh gosh.
Don't do heroin. It's bad.
Yeah. But yeah.
I mean, it is bad.
Just no, it's all disgusting to me. But stay creative, stay positive.
Eat a damn sandwich.
Always eat sandwiches, especially if you're playing Rainbow Six Siege. Definitely eat your sandwiches. Inside joke, you'll understand later.
I don't.
Basically, we call those vests that you can put down with Rook. We call them sandwiches. Everybody's like, I packed my lunch. Now come get your sandwiches, guys. And it's stupid. Anyways, all right.
I feel
Talk
a
to you all
picnic
later.
would make more sense.
What?
Like you like I packed a picnic. Here's our sandwiches.
Yeah, that's what they do sometimes. All right. Talk to you guys later. Stay creative. Peace. Oh, goodness.